us. So within 1 to 2 minutes, sir, we are going to start the session, and it will be on YouTube live. So those who there are many participants who has joined on YouTube live. So with the permission of Dean Academic Sapal sir, should I start the session?
Definitely, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, Jai Gurudev to all. First of all, a very beautiful good morning to all of you. On behalf of Maharishi University of Information Technology, I am Dr. Vijay Kumar, member of MUIT Incubation and Innovation Foundation, that is MIIF. This MIIF is approved by the state government of Uttar Pradesh. The MIIF is devoted towards providing a better platform to students, faculties, and incubatees for the establishment of their startup, with the vision of developing a better startup ecosystem in Uttar Pradesh, and the motivation by Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, Professor Bhanu Pratap Singh Sir, Honorable Registrar Sir, Professor Akhan Pratap Singh Sir, MIIF in charge Ms. Neha Srivastava Ma'am, MIIF Manager Mr. Puneet Pandey Sir. We are organizing this workshop on agricultural entrepreneurship and next generation farming. Professor Dwivedi ji and Dean Academics Professor Sapan Asthana has also joined us. Jai Gurudev sir, I would now request to Professor Sapan Asthana, who is the Dean Academics of Maharishi University of Information Technology, for the formal welcome of our all three panelists for today.
Jai Gurudev, Dr. Vijay sir. Really, it's give me immense pleasure. Today, Maharishi University of Information Technology, MUIT Incubation and Innovation Foundation, MIIF, is organizing workshop on agricultural entrepreneurship and next gen farming. Today, our three resource persons, Sri Dhruv Gupta ji, co-founder, MD Agro, Paathshala. सर, हम आपका बहुत बहुत हार्दिक स्वागत और अभिनंदन करते हैं इस वर्कशॉप में. डॉक्टर सी पाटिल, असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर, स्कूल ऑफ बेसिक एंड अप्लाइड साइंसेस, सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ पंजाब, भटिंडा. सर, हम आपका भी बहुत बहुत हार्दिक स्वागत अभिनंदन करते हैं. श्री मोहित शर्मा, फाउंडर मोहित हाइड्रोपोनिक्स हरियाणा, आपका भी हम हार्दिक स्वागत और अभिनंदन करते हैं आज के इस वर्कशॉप में. साथ ही मैं देख रहा हूं इस कार्यक्रम की जो ऑर्गेनाइजिंग टीम है, प्रोफेसर के द्विवेदी सर, हम लोगों के मेंटोर, हम लोगों के अभिभावक के रूप में मिस नेहा श्रीवास्तव, इंचार्ज MIIF, मिस्टर पुनीत पांडे, मैनेजर MIIF, डॉक्टर विजय कुमार, कन्वीनर एंड होस्ट ऑफ दिस वर्कशॉप. मैं सभी लोगों का बहुत बहुत हार्दिक स्वागत, अभिनंदन और वंदन करता हूं महर्षि यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी की ओर से, कि सचमुच यह जो एक सीरीज चलाई जा रही है वेबिनार के उद्यमिता के वातावरण को जो है बढ़ाने के लिए, उद्यमिता के प्रतिशत को बढ़ाने के लिए, यह सचमुच बहुत ही सराहनीय है. मैं आज का जो एक विषय लिया गया है एग्रीकल्चरल एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, यह बहुत ही समसामयिक है और बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है. जब विगत 2 वर्षों से कोविड फर्स्ट फेज, कोविड सेकेंड फेज, कोविड 2.0 में सभी अर्थव्यवस्था के सभी सेक्टर में मंदी का दौर देखा गया, उसी समय एग्रीकल्चरल सेक्टर ने जीडीपी में जो है एक रूप से देखा जाए वृद्धि दर्ज की है. जो इस चीज को बताती है कि आपदाएं कितनी भी बड़ी हों, आपदाएं कितनी भी बड़ी हों, कृषि क्षेत्र बहुत बड़े जो है एक सहायक के रूप में उभर करके आया है। अगर हम देखें तो एग्रीकल्चरल जो सेक्टर है, एग्रीकल्चरल सेक्टर प्ले ए वेरी वाइटल रोल इन इंडियाज इकोनॉमी। 54.6% of the population is engaged in agriculture and allied activities. As per the latest data, around 17.4 is the contribution, country's gross value added contribution. So it is a time to give the high importance to the agricultural sector in the particularly entrepreneurship development, because जैसा कि हम सभी जानते हैं कि भारत की जो आत्मा है वह कृषि क्षेत्र में जो है ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में निवास करती है। पहले यह आंकड़ा हुआ करता था कि 75% से ज्यादा जनसंख्या कृषि आधारित अर्थव्यवस्था पे निर्भर है, लेकिन अब यह धीरे धीरे रूरल से अर्बन की तरफ शिफ्ट हो गई है पॉपुलेशन। और यह जो अभी मैंने आपको लेटेस्ट डेटा शेयर किया, मैं जानता हूं आज हम लोग के बीच जो 3 इस क्षेत्र के एक्सपर्ट हैं, एग्रीकल्चरल सेक्टर के साइंटिस्ट हैं, आज हम लोग उनको सुनेंगे और उनको समझेंगे। लेकिन इतना जरूर कहना चाहूंगा इस मंच से कि अगर भारत को आगे बढ़ाना है तो हमको कृषि क्षेत्र में जो है ग्रामीण क्षेत्र में रोजगार के अवसरों को क्रिएट करना होगा, और रोजगार के अवसर क्रिएट करने में यह जो उद्यमिता है यह बहुत ही ज्यादा सहायक होगा। क्योंकि जो जॉब सीकर होता है वह जॉब प्रोवाइडर बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है, जो कि तमाम जॉब सीकर्स को नौकरियां उपलब्ध कराता है। अगर हम देखें ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में छिपी हुई बेरोजगारी है, पता नहीं चलता है कि कितने लोग अनएम्प्लॉयड हैं, लेकिन सचमुच जो सरकारी तमाम डेटा आते हैं उसके अकॉर्डिंग स्पष्ट होता है। पता चला कि उनके पास जो कृषि योग्य भूमि है वह बहुत थोड़ी है और उसमें पूरा परिवार जो है डिपेंड करता है। लेकिन यह समय है कृषि आधारित अर्थव्यवस्था में उद्यमिता के नए आयामों को ढूंढने का और उनको वैश्विक पटल पे उसकी पहचान बनाने का, क्योंकि अब कृषि जो है लोकल से ग्लोबल हो गया है। आज जो चीजें प्रतापगढ़ उत्तर प्रदेश में अगर आंवला का प्रोडक्शन होता है तो वह प्रतापगढ़ में उसकी बाउंड्रियां सीमित नहीं है, वह पूरे ग्लोबल जो है पूरे अंतरराष्ट्रीय पटल पे वह जा रही है। क्योंकि आज विथ इफेक्ट फ्रॉम 1991 जब इकोनॉमी ने नई स्पीड ली, एलपीजी लिबरलाइजेशन, प्राइवेटाइजेशन, ग्लोबलाइजेशन, इस समय हमारी कृषि आधारित अर्थव्यवस्था को बहुत आयाम मिला है। तो आज का जो यह वर्कशॉप हो रहा है कि कृषि के क्षेत्र में उद्यमिता और नए जो फार्मिंग के चेंजेस हैं, इस पे आप लोग चर्चा करेंगे, परिचर्चा करेंगे। मुझे जैसा कि आयोजक टीम द्वारा बताया गया, इस वर्कशॉप में देश के बहुत सारे हमारे युवा उद्यमी जुड़ रहे हैं। क्योंकि अगर हम किसी युवा उद्यमी को उसके सपनों के, उसके लक्ष्यों में सहायक होते हैं तो हमको लगता है महर्षि यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ द इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी का MIIF बहुत बड़ा राष्ट्र निर्माण में कार्य कर रहा है। इस दिशा में मैं पुनः श्री ध्रुव गुप्ता जी, को फाउंडर MD एग्रो पाठशाला, डॉक्टर C पाटिल, असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय पंजाब भटिंडा, श्री मोहित शर्मा, फाउंडर मोहित हाइड्रोपोनिक्स हरियाणा, आप सभी लोगों का हार्दिक स्वागत, अभिनंदन, वंदन करता हूं। और जैसा कि मुझे व्यक्ति परिचय में बताया भी गया कि आप सभी लोग रियल एग्रीकल्चरल सेक्टर से हैं। आज पंजाब की स्थिति जो है कृषि उत्पादन में क्या है वह किसी से छुपी नहीं है। हरियाणा कितना अच्छा कार्य कर रहा है यह भी सब जानते हैं। तो हमको ऐसा लग रहा है कि आज के जो विद्वान लोग हम लोगों के युवा उद्यमियों को मेंटोर के रूप में यहाँ आएंगे, वह रियल जो है रियल जो उन्होंने देखा है उसी को डिस्कस करेंगे। सचमुच आज देश बदल रहा है और हम सभी लोग आत्मनिर्भर भारत की ओर बढ़ रहे हैं। कोविड 2.0 ने बता दिया कि हमें अपने लोकल संसाधनों को संजोना होगा और उसको विकास के दिशा में लगाना होगा। हमें आत्मनिर्भर बनना होगा और आत्मनिर्भर भारत की दिशा में यह कृषि आधारित अर्थव्यवस्था उद्यमिता को पहचानना होगा। एक व्यक्ति जिसके अंदर ग्रामीण अंचल की आत्मा निवास करती है, वह किसी भी देश की सबसे बड़ी ताकत होती है, क्योंकि उसको हमेशा वही कड़ी धूप, वही बारिश, वही कड़कड़ाहट की ठंडी याद आती है जब एक किसान जाकर खेतों में पानी सींचता है। तो जब वह अर्थव्यवस्था जो किसानों के हाथ में है उसमें बहुत अपार संभावनाएं हैं। तो मुझे तो इतनी अपार खुशी हो रही है कि आज हमारे जितने भी यहाँ पे विद्वान लोग हैं, मैं बार बार अपने ऑर्गेनाइजिंग टीम को साधुवाद देता हूं और बधाई प्रेषित करता हूं। और इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं पुनः आप सबका वेलकम करता हूं। विश्वविद्यालय के माननीय कुलाधिपति महोदय, कुलपति महोदय, कुल सचिव महोदय और सभी लोगों के आशीर्वाद से यह वेबिनार आज अपना मूर्तिमान रूप ले पा रहा है। मैं एक छोटी सी पंक्ति कहकर आप सभी लोगों का वेलकम करता हूं। हैरान हूं, परेशान हूं, दर बदर ठोकर खाकर भी खड़ा रहने वाला चट्टान हूं। हालातों से जो हार न माने, मैं वो इंसान हूं, मैं वो किसान हूं। तो सचमुच जिस किसान पे आधारित अर्थव्यवस्था होगी, कृषि आधारित अर्थव्यवस्था, उसमें निश्चित हमारे युवाओं को कैरियर बनाना चाहिए और कैरियर के तमाम अवसर हैं। आप देखिए, आप समझिए, आयुर्वेदा है, उसके अलावा बहुत सारे जड़ी बूटियां हैं, प्रोडक्शन है, जो है फूड प्रोसेसिंग है, प्रिजर्वेशन है, अपार संभावनाएं हैं। मैं इन्हीं सभी शुभकामनाओं के साथ पुनः जो है डॉक्टर विजय कुमार जी को आमंत्रित करता हूं कि इस कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाएं और जितने भी हमारे वेबिनार में जुड़ रहे लगभग 100 के राउंड जो प्रतिभागी दिख रहे हैं, इनसे कहूंगा कि इस वेबिनार का ज्यादा से ज्यादा लाभ वेबिनार के अंत में प्रश्न पूछ करके जो है उठाने का प्रयास करें, क्योंकि समय अमूल्य है, समय चला जाएगा, पुनः लौट के नहीं आएगा। आप वर्तमान में इस वेबिनार में रहिए और ज्यादा से ज्यादा लाभ लीजिए, इंटरेक्शन करिए। हमारे विद्वान जो वर्कशॉप के वक्ता हैं, इसी के साथ मैं अपनी वाणी को विराम देता हूं। जय गुरुदेव।
Jai Gurudev sir, or thank you so much for your overwhelming words, and it is a very pleasure to us. आपने जितनी भी चीजें बहुत ग्राउंड रियलिटी पे डिस्कशन किया है, there are so many participants. I would like to tell you that from all over India, I mean from especially from North India and South India, we got a number of registration, more than 350 registration around we got, and there are many participants has joined us on YouTube live also. So without wasting of time, within a very few minutes, I want to brief out the structure of the program. There will be 3 discussion. First will be by our first expert, Dr. Chidanand Patil sir. He is from the Central University of Punjab. He will discuss the business model, basically focused on the agriculture sector, the importance, and he will share their own experience as he has been associated with various government projects. Then the second one will be by Mr. Dhruv Gupta. He is also very having expertise in agricultural backgrounds, agriculture, farming, and there are various allied industries he is associated with us. And Mr. Mohit Sharma sir is also working with Mr. Dhruv Gupta sir, and they have make a common platform that is known as MD Paathshala So both are working with us. So today morning I got a message from Mohit Sharma sir that due to some very official meeting, might be he will not be with us, but he will join our session whenever he will get time. So the rest, the part by which was decided to be discussed by the Mohit Sharma sir, that will be discussed by the Dhruv Gupta sir, as both are associated and they are very working in a team in North India, but not only in North India, they both belong to Punjab and Haryana region, but in pan India they have working, and they are not only in India, in abroad also they are working with various projects. So I would request to our first panelist, Dr. Chidanand Patil sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the session. Now the session is to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. First of all, I would like to thank the Maharishi University of Information and Technology for inviting me as a resource person for this wonderful webinar. Dr. Sapan Asthana, sir, Dean Academic Affairs of Maharishi University of Information and Technology. Dr. Vijay Kumar sir, convener and host of the program, Mr. Puneet Pandey, manager of MIIF, Ms. Neha Srivastav, in charge of MIIF. So as sir rightly mentioned that agriculture is a backbone of Indian economy, and still nearly 58% of the population is dependent on agriculture sector. So without wasting time, I would like to share my screen. Sir, can you enable my screen? I would like to share my presentation here. Yes, sir, 1 second. Okay, sir. Hope the screen is visible to you,
yes,
sir.
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The screen is now visible.
Okay.
To us.
Okay, sir. So today's topic is about agriculture entrepreneurship and the next generation farming. Okay, so many I think that many of the participants are there even from non-agriculture background also, and some participants are there who know the basics of agriculture, but many are there from arts background or science background or from commerce background, but still they would like to understand the agriculture and they would like to start their own business in this sector. So basically here I think initially I will discuss in 2 slides about what is entrepreneurship and what are the qualities of an entrepreneur, and afterwards I will talk more about practical aspects rather than the theoretical aspects. Okay, so basically an entrepreneur is nothing but a person who organizes and manages business undertaking and assuming the risk of for investment. It means that any person who is having a innovative idea, okay, so that person he thinks about that one and he takes a risk. Okay, so he may get the source of idea from any source, the idea from any of the sources. Okay, but finally he will going to accept the risk and he will going to invest his time, money and energy into that one, and he will start a different venture which is different from the existing one. So that person is called as an entrepreneur. Otherwise manager, the businessman usually they start the normal business which is almost same, but the entrepreneur is someone who is different from the existing business undertaking. Okay, so who is starting his own new thought process, he is starting his own new business, new idea. Okay, so that person is called as an entrepreneur. And there are some qualities of an entrepreneur, this is a theoretical part, but just only one slide I will cover. He is having, he will be full of determination will be there, and day and night he will be thinking about the business, and he will be not afraid to take the risks, and he is having high level of confidence, and he is having a strong belief in his idea, and he is having a good understanding of the money management and expert at networking, and he can easily communicate with others, and he can convince them and he will make them like, you know, they're going to purchase his or her product. So these are all the qualities of an entrepreneur. And now next question is about why it's about agri entrepreneurship. Okay, so there are many opportunities are there. Why we should start with the taking the entrepreneurial opportunities or starting our business in agriculture sector. Okay, so there are many things, but I would like to discuss with one idea. Say, for example, as sir rightly told that still many of the population depends on agriculture sector, and 3 times a day we need food. Okay, and if the farmer produces, then only we will be able to consume here. And during this COVID pandemic also, we have observed the GDP. All the sectors GDP has come down, but agriculture sector is the only sector wherein a positive GDP has been observed up to 4%. Okay, and some psychological aspects are there. Actually, majority of us, we belong to middle class family. Okay, so this is because in Indian majority, that is the situation. And since from our childhood, we have observed that many our parents will be saying us like, you know, study well and concentrate upon your studies. So don't worry about the business or the money, but concentrate wholly upon your studies. And then afterwards, like, you know, get a job and your life is settled. Okay, so even in the schools also, there is not a separate course on business or entrepreneurship. Okay, so that's why, like, you know, our mindset is something that we have inculcated over a period of time. We will be studying very hard, and the youth are having the knowledge and skills, but like, you know, they are not thinking about starting their own business because they are not trained in that angle. Okay, hence, like, you know, what will think the people, so they think that I should go and work under someone. Okay, so that is the mindset. So first of all, that mindset has to be changed. Okay, so for that purpose only, nowadays the new education policy has come, and that some relaxations have been given. And I have observed in one of the schools in Gujarat. Okay, Gujarat is known for businessmen. And there is a typical school in Gandhinagar, wherein the students from 4th or 5th standard onwards, they will be selling their products on a particular day in a week. Okay, so since from 4th or 5th standard, the students, like, you know, they are trained from that angle. So particular day in a week, and the customers will also come there. And like, you know, because at least, like, you know, yeah, just if they go for only 1 hour also or 2 hour also, so once in a week, so like, you know, it will be around 4 times in a month and 48 times in a year. So that is a kind of like, you know, exposure that they get since from their childhood. Okay, so that school focuses upon the education as well as towards the entrepreneurship. Hence, they understand the consumer mindset very well. And then they think that yes, this is the consumer mindset, and the consumers are price sensitive, and what are the parameters that they are looking when they are purchasing a particular product, and I should design and develop that product which I can sell, or which I can satisfy the needs of the consumer. Okay, so in that angle, the students will think there. Okay, so next they will become ultimately the businessmen or the entrepreneurs. Okay, so in this way, we should change our mindset since from our childhood, or even at this age also. There is this age, it's actually since from past 10 years, what we have observed is there is a drastic change in the government policies. Okay, now you are having internet connection is there, and social media platforms are there. It is easy to learn any business, get the experience of the others, and we can start our own business. And like, you know, the digital marketing opportunities, they are providing ample opportunities for the startups. And just to begin with this my presentation, this is a coriander, or in Hindi we call it as dhania. Okay, so why I have shown in this picture is that one of the farmer in southern states in Karnataka, there, like, you know, the agriculture university is there, Dharwad. So every year they conduct the Krishi Mela. Okay, so wherein lakhs together farmers they come, and for 4 days it will be there, and they will invite the farmers, and they will demonstrate the innovative next level technologies to the farmers there. Many companies also participate, and they also award those farmers who have done exceptionally well in the field of agriculture. So one farmer was given with Krishi Pandit award there. Okay, so by cultivating coriander. Okay, so what is different that he has done? Okay, usually what happens on a normal case, coriander is cultivated by the farmers, but if one farmer is having 1 acre of land, he will cultivate whole of his 1 acre, and he will sell it in the market, so that coriander will come to harvest within 35 to 40 days, and at the end of 40 days he will harvest it and he will sell the whole lot into the market. Okay, so when the quantity is high, automatically the economics, we know that if the supply is high, then the price will going to fall down. Okay, so this farmer, what he has done innovatively is, so he has divided his 2 acres of land into 40 plots. Okay, so as we know that coriander will come to harvest in 40 days. So in the first day, he went for sowing in the first plot. Second day, he went for sowing in the second plot. Okay, so this went on, and by the 40th day, when he sown his crop into the 40th plot, the first plot, it came to harvesting. Okay, so he was able to generate around 1,000 bundles of this coriander. And finally, he was able to market his product, and his son was able to go to the market and sell it. Usually, the coriander is such a commodity which is required by the consumers regularly. Okay, every day in our food preparations, we use coriander. And this farmer is producing coriander regularly. Every day his product will come to the market. And he is not going for large scale production, but small scale, whatever the daily market demand is there, accordingly he is producing and he is marketing. And this kind of idea, usually now this is the summer, usually the coriander price is high because in the summer its production is quite less, and in the winter its supply will be more. So he takes this opportunity, and roughly he assumes that on an average he gets around 5 to 6 rupees when he averages. Sometimes he may get 20 rupees, sometimes he may get 2 rupees also, but on an average 5 to 6 rupees he will going to get. And every day if he markets 1,000 bundles of coriander, 1,000 into even if you get the least price, say 2 rupees or 3 rupees per bundle, then 3,000 rupees he will going to get just from 1 gunta of land. Okay, so that is the business potential, and this way he does business, and even he established the contacts with the hotels and the the restaurants and the other outlets. And next innovative thing I would like to say here is about the goat milk dairy. So we all know about the goat, okay, and this goat milk dairy is a new concept. Usually people, they go for goat rearing only for meat purpose, but the goat milk is something which is having a potential demand in the market. But before starting this business, we must go for a survey, and we should concentrate upon the urban customers. Usually the high-end customers they are targeted. We know the nutritional properties of goat milk. Okay, so as it is easy to digest, it prevents from allergic reactions, and it boasts healing. It's good for skin, and usually during the time of dengue, okay, it is given to the patients. Okay, so I have seen here even in the government hospitals also, some farmers they come and they were selling around 300 to 400 rupees per liter of milk. Okay, because it will going to enhance our ability to fight against the diseases. Okay, so because of this one, so the goat milk is charged a bit high in the market. And one of the farmer near Bangalore, he has established his farm around 500 goats. He's rearing them scientifically, And goat is such an animal, like, it is hardy, and you need not have to invest much upon its maintenance. Okay. So here, just a few vaccinations are required, and it is a voracious feeder. So that is its feeding habit. Unlike this one, the poultry, wherein a lot of fluctuations will be there with respect to its, if the bird flu comes, then the demand will going to come down. Even during this COVID-19 also, during the month of March last year, so there was some video which went viral, and because of that one, like, the demand for poultry suddenly came down. Now again the demand has picked up. But for the goat meat, there is a continuous demand. Even the manure of the goat, okay, so that is also charged very high. Okay, so goat manure also, like, it is high in demand from the farmer side. And for students, actually, like, you also know about the gardening, and now the government is also focusing towards promotion of organic food products and cultivation of organic farming, and that scheme is there, that is Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana. Some scheme is there from the government also towards promoting this organic farming. And in the urban areas, if you take the example of metropolitan cities like Delhi, okay, so usually a lot of pollution will be there, and the people, they don't have any space for cultivating the plants. Okay, so during this time, some people, they have come with some idea that they will go and whatever their space is there, within that they will go for establishing the plants. Okay, so usually the business model here is that some companies are there, what they will do, they will come and they will calculate the area, and whatever the plant that you need, so based upon that one, they will going to charge. So roughly around 4,000 to 5,000 it will be charged. Okay, so one time investment will be there. So later on, the customer himself has to manage whatever the plants are there. Okay, so only they will provide the initial setup. So this was a normal way of carrying out this terrace gardening business. But like, our student is one of our student. He also won this one innovation, so that innovation award during this one of the fest which was organized by some Delhi university, some university in the Delhi, wherein his idea was different. Usually what his idea was that जो टेरेस में रहता है वो उधर जाके वो अपना प्रोडक्ट रखेगा. So whatever the customer demands, either it may be tomato or chili or brinjal or green leafy vegetables, whatever the customer demands, he will go and he will set up the unit there. But he will going to take the rent for that one. Okay, it is not only one time investment, but monthly the customer has to give him the charge, that is 500 rupees per month or 600 rupees per month. So depending upon the area. So business is something that which you should start with an intention to go for a like, long-term relation, for establishing the long-term relationship with the customer. In this kind of business, like, the customer has to pay 500 rupees per month every per month. So ultimately in a year he is paying you 6,000 rupees. And the children also, they are enjoying this one. And many of the urban consumers, they don't know what is a pest or what is a disease. Okay, hence they need the consultancy. So he also provides the consultancy to the urban customers. So his person, he is going to visit the apartments once in 10 days, like that. So once in 3 times in a month, they will going to visit, and they will going to charge around 500 to 600 rupees. So this was the concept, because like, for our dish TV or for our mobile phones, monthly we are paying the rent. Okay, so similarly also this was his new business idea. So in this way, we should think about the business in agriculture in a new way or in an innovative way. So before going for that one, we should go for some survey in the market. Then only we should start the business. And with respect to government initiatives in this one for promoting the agri entrepreneurship in India. So first one is about this Agri Clinic and Agri Business Center schemes. So this is one of the scheme which is launched by the government of India. So this is called as ACABC. Okay. So this scheme, it is being run by managed, that is the National Institute of Agricultural Extension Management, Hyderabad. So this scheme is supported through NABARD, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. Okay, so this scheme supports for the graduates who are related to science, botany, or agriculture, or veterinary, horticulture, are related geology kind of disciplines. Okay, so those who candidates, they are eligible for training. Okay, so they usually provide 45 days free training. Okay, residential training is provided free of cost. Okay, so completely for 45 days, and during this residential training program, they also make you to visit already established firms, and they will also inform you how to prepare your business plan, and next how to carry out a market survey, and how to make a bankable project. Okay, so this is a kind of a scheme. And here, after completion of this 45 days, the manager is going to give them the certificate. Okay, and with the help of this certificate, you can apply for a loan in the bank. Okay, and the bank will going to sanction you the loan. For individual candidates, up to 20 lakh, or in case of extremely well projects, they will sanction up to 25 lakh. But and in case of group project, say 3 to 4 members or 5 members, and among them one should be from MBA. Okay, so for them, they will sanction up to 1 crore loan. Okay, and the interesting thing in this ACABC scheme is that 36% subsidy is provided for the general candidates, and 44% subsidy is provided for women, SC, ST, Northeastern and Hill states. Okay, so this is a subsidy component which is attached with this scheme, and this scheme is being operated through different training institutes. I will show you the website of this one. So this is the ACABC scheme. I mean, if you type ACABC in the Google, that is Agri Clinic and Agri Business Centers, so you will going to get this website. So if you want to know where the training institute, nodal training institute are located, so you can go to your particular state, and it is operational in almost all the states across India through different training institutes. So second. So if I click here all the states, you can see here a total of 111 training institutes are located for training the candidates to take up agri-entrepreneurial activities. Okay, so name any state, you will get their contact details, their mobile number, email ID. Okay, so they also conduct the interview for getting selected for this 45 days training program. And if we look upon the progress of this scheme, so till today, this scheme is started from 2002 onwards. Okay, from 2002 to 2021. Okay, a total of 74,761 candidates till yesterday. Okay, 74,761 candidates have been trained under this scheme, and 31,389 candidates, they have started their own business in the agriculture sector. And they have grouped the various ventures in agriculture into under 32 categories. So they have listed on their website like Agri Clinic or Agri Business Center, Agro Ecotourism. So nowadays the new concept is coming called as Agri Tourism. So that I will going to explain in some other class. And animal feed unit, biofertilizer. Okay, because now biofertilizer, biopesticide, or neem based pesticides, for them the demand is high. value addition is there, fishery is there, fishery clinics is there, vermicomposting is there, apiary, which is nothing but rearing of honeybees, okay, mushroom cultivation. Many people, they have taken different schemes, I mean different startups, and so you can get the data from this website. And so this is about the Agri Clinic and Agri Business Center scheme. And the next is recently the government of India under the RKVY program. So that is nothing but Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. Okay, so it has started. Second. RKVY Raftar. Okay, so that is the Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. Remunerative approaches for agricultural and allied sectors rejuvenation. So that is the RKVY Raftar scheme. So here the earlier ACABC scheme that was related to it's a kind of subsidy where the entrepreneurs used to get. Here like the grant is given. Okay, so they are having two programs here under this scheme. That is idea or pre-seed stage funding for the entrepreneurs. So here up to 5 lakh rupees is provided, wherein 90% will be the grant and 10% will be the contribution from the startup incubatee. And one more, the first scheme is that is idea or pre-seed stage funding is for those persons who have identified a particular idea in the agriculture sector, okay, which is different, which is new, and for which they want to they want to start, but they don't have the fund, okay, for which the government will going to provide 5 lakh rupees. And for those persons who have established their business, okay, say some 1 year has happened or 2 years or 3 years has happened, but still they are facing the financial problem, and they have not went for large scale expansion of their business. Okay, for them they provide a 25 lakh rupees grant. Okay, so that is called a seed stage funding of Rabi Incubatees. Okay, so these are the two different programs under this scheme. Okay, one is for 5 lakh for that is initial stage. Even if you are having any idea in this one, so you can submit your idea, and if your idea gets selected, then they will provide you some incubation for a period of 2 months, and wherein during that time also they will provide 10,000 per month as some remuneration for the people. Okay, so you can start your business with this 5 lakh, or if you are already established entrepreneur, you will going to get 25 lakh rupees grant from the government. And this is the different training nodal training institutes of this this RKVY Raftar. So that is the Department of Agriculture Cooperation and Farmers Welfare. Okay, so it has basically identified 5 knowledge partners across India. So they are nothing but they are considered as center of excellence. One is Manage Hyderabad, second one is NIAM Jaipur, and third institute is Indian Agriculture Research Institute New Delhi. The fourth one is about US Dharwad in Karnataka, and for Northeast it is Assam Agriculture University. Okay, so these institutes, they provide this kind of incubation support for the startups, and along with that one, they are having 24 RKVY Raftar agribusiness incubation centers are there across India. Other than this, 5. So total 29. So they are operated through agriculture universities. Okay. So you will get almost in all the states this RKVY Raftar scheme is into operation. And next one is just I am showing you the same, the RKVY Raftar. So this is advertisement of this Punjab Agriculture University. Okay, so if anyone is belonging to Punjab or Haryana, so they can apply here. So still 30th June is the last date, and they provide 2 months free training program here. Technical support will be there, business monitoring and network support will be there, incubation support is there, and different focus areas are like farm mechanization, agriculture machinery, post harvest or food processing, precision farming. And nowadays, as your university is into IoT and AI based technologies in agriculture, okay, and waste decomposition, organic farming. So these are the dairying or any other thing. Okay. So for the agri startups, so these are all the different support schemes. Still many are there. Okay. Other than this one, still many schemes are there which are provided by the central government, also the individual state governments. Okay. So nowadays the problem is not with the funding. Okay. The problem is with the idea. You must have a unique idea and which is different from the existing one, and you should have a proper understanding of the consumer. Look here, I say you, consumer will not invest even 10 rupees from his pocket if he don't believe in your idea or in your product. Okay. Hence, like, you know, to start your business idea, you must have a thorough understanding of the market and the consumer. And then only you will get funding support. Government will have help, or the many investors nowadays, angel investors are there. They will come and they will help you only when your idea is something interesting or something new. So at our Central University of Punjab, we are having MBA Agribusiness program, wherein we send our students after the completion of their first semester for the rural immersion module to the different villages and across India. So these are some pics here. So wherein you can see that they go and interact with the entrepreneurs in their village or nearby villages. You can see here. This student belongs to Afghanistan. This student belongs to Uttar Pradesh. He belongs to Andhra Pradesh. Okay. So even this cow dung, okay, so it is marketed at a village level only at 2 rupees or 3 rupees per piece. If you search in the Flipkart or Amazon, it is marketed around 50 or 60 rupees per piece, this cow dung. Okay. So because in the urban areas, you don't get this one. So this is a business which they have taken up, and food processing units are there. And so this is quinoa, and many people, they do innovative things. So here some student is there from Odisha. He went and interacted with the fish farmers there, and many startups are there. And people also do it in an innovative way, like they carry out both poultry and fishery simultaneously. Okay, so the waste of whatever the poultry is there, so that acts as the feed for the fish. Okay, in this way also the people undertake the entrepreneurial activities. So this kind of entrepreneurs also I have seen, and some more pictures, and wherein, like, you know, that here they are promoting the vermicomposting business. Okay, here they are promoting this sericulture here, and here they are promoting the greenhouse cultivation. So this kind of, like, you know, so you will going to learn only when you move out of your college, or you move out of your home, and like, you know, interact with the various people. Then you will understand what is the business is all about, and what I should do. Okay, so some more pictures from other some students, they belong to Jammu Kashmir. Okay, so these things. So our campus is like a mini India. So Vijay sir probably knows, like, you know, people are there here, students are there from different states, and also from other countries also. And I would like to conclude here, because still 2 more participants would like to present here. Thank you everyone for providing me this opportunity. Vijay sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And really, sir, it was a very informative session, especially for those who are planning for starting any type of firm in agriculture industry, and also for those students who are from non-agricultural background. I think many of us are from commerce, management, or humanities background also. So it was really very interesting to know that how the government is providing the platform, the first thing I think the getting information is also very important, as I have seen your slide that where 90% funding government is providing, and not only the funding, type of residential training program is also running by the institution. So it is a very good opportunity for the students, those who generally complains that how to get the funding, how to get the bank loans, so they have only idea. So it was a very interesting session. Now I would request to our next panelist, Mr. Dhruv Gupta ji. Kindly, sir, discuss your informative session with us, sir. So now the session is to you, Mr. Dhruv Gupta, sir.
Thank you so much, dear panelists. First of all, I would like to thank Maharishi University of IT, Dean Dr. Sapan, convener Mr. Vijay Kumar, manager Mr. Puneet Pandey, in charge and head MIIF Ms. Neha Srivastavji, and Dr. Babitaji Kataria for providing me this opportunity to present our case. And so for the today's topic, that is onto agri-tech entrepreneurship and next gen farming, I would just want to say that the possibilities are endless in the field of agriculture. My experience with agriculture has been more towards the farming side of it and the commercial farming side of it. So let's begin our session. I hope I am audible to everyone. You can put your comments in the chat box. So to start with, welcome to the world of entrepreneurship and soilless farming. The journey so far for me has been very great. In 2009, I did my 10th from Delhi. 2013, I did my BTech from Guru Jambeshwar University of Hisar. In 2015, I completed my PGDM in marketing from BIMTech Greater Noida. 2015, I joined corporate world with Wipro Limited. Over there, I was a domain consultant. Then I joined Marfor Analytics. I was an assistant manager research over there. Now that was my corporate experience and my educational background before getting into an agri-based startup. So some of the skills that I learned throughout my life till my corporate experience were primary research, secondary research, product planning, strategy planning, process benchmarking, features benchmarking, sales analysis, trend analysis. These were some skills that were required out of me to start off, because to start off, we need to have some skills, how to start. That gave me a wing to go for my first startup, which was Anupam Farms. It was founded in year 2018. This project was based on soilless farming. So we utilized aggregate-based farming and hydroponics to produce year-round almost 22.5 tons of produce on monthly basis, spanning across 19 varieties of exotic vegetables, starting from leafy vegetables like spinach, kale, lettuce, 6 varieties of lettuce, herbs like coriander, methi, Italian basil, Thai peppermint. Then we did broccoli, we did cherry tomatoes, we did grape tomatoes, we did bell peppers, we did sweet peppers, we did European cucumbers, we did cocktail cucumbers. So you guys must be wondering, if I don't have any agricultural background, then how was I able to do that? Well, I'll give you answer for that as well. Moving on, in 2021, we founded MD Agro Paathshala. So Mohit had a very good experience in rooftop hydroponics farming. I had a very good successful career in commercial hydroponics farming. So we founded MD Agro Paathshala with a vision that we want to see one farmer per family. That is our vision. By farmer, we don't say that you need to have an agricultural background, but with the help of soilless farming, since it is process based, we believe that in every family we can have one farmer who can produce their basic needs like leafy vegetables, like vine crops like cucumber, tomato, bell peppers, even radish, beetroot, all of these things at their own houses. There is no need for you to go out and step out. You can do this with the help of hydroponics and soilless farming. So now, before moving on to entrepreneurship, let's understand what is this whole ecosystem all about. First of all, what is the difference between invention and innovation? So invention is something that we have never seen before. This is something very new, like telephone is an example of an invention. But then what is innovation? Innovation is something that we are modifying an existing idea to create a better value proposition for the society. For example, your mobile phones. For example, your smartphones. They have all disrupted the market of telecommunications. So who is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is someone, I'll mark my words, he's someone who bridges the gap that a society is needing with his or her innovative idea. Remember these words, you need to bridge the gap that is existing in society with your idea. The process in which you create a new entity and you're ready to bear all of the risk related to it, be it development, organization, and management. Now here the key word is intention to make a profit. An entrepreneur is bridging the gap that a society is asking for with their innovative ideas in order to make a profit. That person gives birth to a new entity known as the startup, typically initially funded by them to validate their idea in such a way that the model is scalable. So the three words that we have to remember when we are getting into entrepreneurship or startups are three things. Firstly, you need to bridge a societal gap. Second, you have to start with an intention to make profit. And third, your model should be scalable. If it has these three ingredients, then the recipe is perfect. So basically, what does it take? You know, how do you start your startup? How it all happens? What is the process? I'll give you a brief idea about what you should do in your pre-seed stage and the seeding stage. So firstly, as I told you, you need to have an idea. What is the big deal that you're trying to solve out? The second thing is the eureka moment. The eureka moment stands for, let's say in our case, we wanted to produce chemical-free, exotic, premium vegetables. But how could we do that? We could have gone through soil waste by going conventional farming, by doing organic farming, or by doing soilless farming. So we chose soilless farming because of its competitive edge. These edges we will discuss later in the discussion. But we need to select the best method, how are we going to achieve or execute our idea. That is your eureka moment. The next step is you need to dive deep in your concept. Now this stage, typically here you need to execute your market research, like what all products you would want to have, who would be your target segments, how you are going to target them, what would be your sales strategy, what would be your production strategy, what would be your marketing strategy. So everything needs to be planned, how you would want to execute your idea, how will you try to go for funding, who all people would be required to make it happen. All of these things will happen into this deep dive stage. The next stage is gather your dream team. On the basis of your analysis, you'll always come to know that okay, I need to do marketing a lot, okay, I need to do sales a lot. So you need to gather a dream team so that you click in all of the check boxes, because it is your dream team that is going to make this project happen. So you need to have people who have similar ideas, who have passion for the same concept. So that compromises of your dream team. After that, assign your roles and responsibilities. As I said, like somebody would be good in marketing, somebody would be good in production, somebody would be good in networking. So assign your roles and responsibilities, and most importantly, form a company. Forming a company is very important because everything should be on papers. There are various different structures of forming a company. It could be a sole proprietorship, it could be a partnership, it could be an LLP, it could be a private limited. Now, to cover your market risk, if you have to start any idea or any business, you need to have various functions associated with it. Like in our case, we had production, we had marketing, we had accounts, we had logistics, we had other things like sales. So there were different functions. Now I might not be good at everything, my team might not be good at everything. For all of those situations, we can have strategic tie-ups. For example, you must have seen today the idea of cloud kitchen. They just have a kitchen at some part of your city, but they're outsourcing their logistics services. By doing this, they're trying to cover all of their market risks. Once you have made all the strategic tie-ups in the market, you now move on to building your functional teams. Why is it important to build a good function team? Because when you're approaching your investors, they would want to see that the strength of your bench, how good is it? How capable are they to execute this thing? So that covers for your execution risks. Now, once these two steps have been done, what you need to do is you plan your execution in a well-phased plans. Like in our case, we had a setup phase, which was a pre-production phase. Then we had a production phase. Then we have a post-production phase. In post-production phase, things related to marketing, sales and, logistics, vendors, all of these things came in. In production, we were like, how will we be producing? How much will we be producing? That is the thing. In setup phase, we were just looking out for, building teams, what all resources should be there. So it should be a well-planned, in a well-planned manner, you need to conduct this. And that is what we call as running a pilot. A pilot is nothing but a very small scale execution of your bigger plan. By doing this, what you're trying to do, you're trying to test your production skills. You're trying to test the technology which is trying to support your idea. So by doing this, you're covering your production and technology risks. Once everything has been done, now is the time to make financial validations. Make certain small goals at regular interval of times that I need to achieve this much of revenue after a certain time. By validating this, you are presenting to your investor that my idea does not only have a good strategy, but it can also bring you revenue. Once these things are validated, your financial risks are covered. And now is the time that you scale up. So before we scale up, what are the various stages of funding? Let us see. Here we have typically 5 stages of funding, as very rightly said by our last speaker. There are 5 stages. First is pre-seed stage, then you have seed stage, then you have series A and B investors, then you have series C plus investors, and then you go for mergers and acquisitions and your initial public offerings, which are known as IPOs. Now, in each stage, you'll have to roll out some amount of your equity to your investors. Typically, in a pre-seed stage, you'll be rolling out 5 to 10% of your remaining capital. From stage 2 to 5, at each stage, you have to roll out 20 to 30% of remaining capital. Now, basically, what are these stages we need to understand? Pre-seed stage is the stage where your idea is being developed. So all of the costs related to your idea being developed are covered here in the pre-seed stage. This is the stage where, most of the people, they fund themselves, or their families or their friends, provide them the money. Once the pre-seed stage, your business idea, your proof of concept has been validated. Next stage is the seed stage. As the name suggests, seed stage means that now the funding is being given to a person so that the seed can be converted into a tree. But how will it convert into a tree? So it needs a good strategy, and it should be able to generate revenue. To do this, basically what we are trying to do over here is, once the fruit comes out, we need to see how the product develops. So at this stage, we are doing product development. We are developing our own product, which we were talking about in the last stage, which is the pre-seed stage. Over here, your sources of funding could be venture capitalists, business angels, angel funds, wealth managers. Important thing to note, in seed funding, angel investors or angel funds are the people, or business angels that you would want to target, because these are the people who takes high amount of risks with people having even least amount of experience. Yeah. So once this stage has been done, your market has been set, you have now target segment, you have your product established. The next stage is the market development stage. Basically, now where all, apart from your first selected market, where all can you sell your product? So this is like you're trying to utilize your user base. So we are trying to develop different markets for the same product, and this is known as market development. For this, we need a series A funding. A series A funding is mostly done by venture capitalists, for the same sole reason, because they have more money, and to develop a market you need more money. So over here, the idea is that there is one main venture capitalist as your investor. He acts as an anchor investor. If he's convinced, if he believes that your idea is good, then he attracts more investors. So your job is done, which gives you the way to Series B funding, which is penetration. Now you have your product developed, you have a single market developed, you have a user base. What you would want to do is you would want to expand your user base, you would want to expand your reach. To expand your reach, you need to invest in advertising, you need to spend in marketing, you need to spend in sales, you need to spend in so many functions, business development. For this you need more money, but investors want more assurance from you in terms of long-term profits. So this is being done by Series B investors. Typically, once you are even over this phase, now is the time that you would want to create more similar products for newer markets. For this thing, you need to scale up. This is the phase in Series C plus where you're scaling up. So over here, most important thing is that you need to have a very rock solid plan with a very rock solid strategy, because this is the phase when the big giants of the industry would enter, private investment banks, equity firms, obviously business angels and venture capitalists are always there. And typically people in this round, they would want to utilize these funds to raise their IPOs because they need to improve on their valuations. But some of the venture capitalist firms in India that we can see are these: Secure Capital, Excel Partners, Intel Capital, Fidelity Growth Partners. These are some of the names, top venture capitalist firms that you can look out for raising private equity. So we have talked about a lot about what are the traits of an entrepreneur, but I would like to talk about what are the skills that an entrepreneur need. First, an important thing, whatever you're trying to do, it should give you a sense of accomplishment. That means some satisfaction, some gratification that I'm doing something for myself, for my society. Second thing, you should not be scared of difficulties. You should always look out for the the better thing happenings in your life. You need to keep your mental doors open. Every level resource is important, their feedback is important. Third important thing, understand yourself. It is very important. What are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, because that is how you gain on to your dream team and your board of directors. Fourth thing, step out of your cocoon. Do not stay in your comfort zone. Make your mental preparation very strong. And last but not the least thing, do plan but do not overthink. Important is whatever idea you have, execute it, see the failures, improve them, go again, keep on repeating till the time you reach to your final thing. So this is what an entrepreneur needs as skills. Moving on to the topic where my heart lies is my science, my hydroponics. So what is hydroponics that we have been talking about? Hydro means water, ponus means labor. So hydroponics means you're working with water. So this is a methodology where plants are being grown in a nutrient rich water solution, and plants are held by a substrate. Now what is a substrate? Do you know soil is a natural substrate? So by this definition, can you see something? So a substrate is something that holds a plant. A medium that holds a plant is known as substrate. The soil is a natural substrate, and that is why we prefer farming in soil. In this picture, you can see there is a hand showing a crop grown in a pot, and the roots are emerged in this pipe. So this pipe has this nutrient solution where the roots are dipped and they're deriving their nutrition form. It is held in a cup which has the substrate or an aggregate. We'll discuss what are the types of different aggregates later in the slides. And this is the crop, how we grow it. So yes, it is possible. You can grow a plant without soil. So basically, why do we need to move to soilless farming? What is wrong with our existing farming methods? So firstly, the role of soil. It provides structural support. It provides water supply to the plant. It provides, there is a presence of nutrients, which that is how, these nutrients are break down and, a plant gets its nutrition from. But then why do our crops fail? Because there are soil-borne diseases and pests, there are airborne diseases and pests, and then there are certain environmental factors. It could be, hailstorm, it could be dust storms, it could be anything. This leads to a very faulty produce. Why? Because if there are so much, pest activity happening, we need to spray pesticides, and that is why it becomes harmful. Since nutrition is scattered, not every land of, every part of your land would be having same, nutrition. So the taste would be lesser, nutrition values would be lesser. For each plant, there will be inconsistent yields. And as our last guest speaker, rightly, said that the farmer, what he did was he made 41 batches of the same lot of coriander. So now there is a, rising awareness how to plan your harvest. But earlier what we used to do was we used to do burst planning. एक साथ बेच देंगे सब कुछ. So that was the thinking. And that is why we have to see why is our substrate very important. What are the important characteristics of a substrate? It should be inert in nature. That is, it should not have any organic matter of its own. Yeah, so that no pest of soil can attack it. It should hold more water. Its structure should remain intact right from starting till the end of a crop life cycle. It should provide good air to the roots and an apt environment, which are your, your pH environment, for which, the growth is directly proportional to the, the environment that the roots have. So pH is very important for a soil. For soil, typically the pH value ranges from 6.5 to 7.5. So what is the solution? The solution is that we go soilless. And why do we go soilless? Because we have to not just go soilless, we need to do it in a protected environment. As we can see from this diagram, farming methods can be divided into two: soil-based and soil-less. Soil-based we have discussed. Soil-less, we have two sciences. First, the substrate-based or aggregate-based. So on the screen that you can see, these are the examples of certain substrates. All of them have similar properties. They are inert in nature. They don't have any organic matter. So no soil-borne pest can attack it. And that is how it saves your crop from soil failures. Another thing, it holds more water than soil. Typically, cocoa peat can hold almost 5 to 10 times more water than soil. Oasis foam over here can hold almost 7 to 8 times water than soil. So all of these are very good examples, how you can do things better. They don't degrade. So you can have, a uniform environment for your root zone. Typically in hydroponics, we see certain systems. So as we discussed, what is hydroponics? In all of these diagrams, one thing that you can see common is there is a reservoir having water. In this water, we dissolve our nutrients. The plant roots are, dipped in this water. They derive their nutrition from there, and they're held in a substrate above. This is a typical hydroponic, systems that we can see. The top three on the right screen that you see: wick system, ebb and flow, drip systems. These are called as aggregate systems because here the plant roots are not directly dipped into the nutrient solution. But in NFT, deep water culture, and aeroponics, these are the commercial techniques that we use in the business. Idea is very simple. You provide nutrient solution to the roots of a plant and they will grow because that is all they need. Now, the importance. So soilless farming, if we see hydroponics and aggregate based farming, what are they trying to do? They're trying to eliminate risks associated to soil based farming. But when you couple it with a protected environment, it also covers, the role of airborne diseases and airborne pests, and with a minimal damage from environment uncertainties. So we can see certain examples of polyhouses that you would see around you these days, and these are very trending right now. Most of the, nurseries are in shade nets, which are green in structure. Then the first one that you can see on the screen. Second one is the walk-in tunnels. Again, these are done for, leafy plants. Then we have naturally ventilated polyhouse. These are the most used systems across India that you will find in terms of soilless farming, followed by fan and pad system, typically suitable for people for environments where there are extremities of weather, like North India. You would see mostly, if you want to do a successful, commercial level farming, you need to get to fan and pad system because it creates that environment. And then are the retractable roof systems. These are the advanced systems where the roof itself can open and close as per the environmental conditions. So after seeing this, what is that we gain out of it? In hydroponics, this soilless farming, when coupled with controlled environment agriculture, that is protected environment farming, it enables a grower to better the odds of their plants because now there are no risks associated with soil pests and diseases. Airborne diseases have been taken care of at a very greater scale, and environmental conditions have been also checked. Also, one important thing that you would have seen from these slides, every plant is receiving same amount of nutrition, uniform nutrition, which we don't see in soil these days because soil is depleted over the period of time. As a result, each crop that you get is of uniform in nature, uniform in taste, uniform in size, uniform in aroma, uniform in texture, luster. That is the beauty of this science. It provides you with that instinct. So let us understand global hydroponics market at a glance. It is growing at a CAGR of 11.3%. $9.5 billion is what is estimated in 2020 as the market size. In 2026, it is going to be $17.9 billion. This is a staggering amount. But what are the factors that are typically, I would say, impacting or which are triggering this environment? First is impact due to COVID-19. Very recently we saw that after COVID-19 we are trying to be associated more towards home cooking and self-made foods. Countries have realized that exporting products is a very risky thing right now, so they are getting into internal and domestic productions. Healthy, hygienic and safe foods have been gaining priority. Second most important thing, our natural resources are depleting. As per UN, by 2025, 1.8 billion people will live in areas plagued by water scarcity. 2/3 of the world population will be living in water-stressed regions. 33% of the global arable land, the land on which you can go for production or harvesting or agricultural practices, has been degraded in the last 40 years. This is something mind-boggling. Our environment is changing. It is becoming unpredictable. This is a mind-blowing figure again. Average annual loss of crop production due to animal pests, due to microbial diseases and weeds is 68%, which means if you're producing 100 kgs, you're losing on 68 kgs. There is contamination and there are huge losses in the supply chain. As per BCG, annual food loss and food wastage has reached 1.6 billion tons. This is something mind-boggling. Again, as per UNO, 25% of what we are getting as crop, even they are contaminated by mycotoxins. And last but not the least, our population is exploding like anything. It is expected to be 9.8 billion in 2050. And let me tell you, the food demand is estimated to increase by at least 50%. So hence we need some farming methods who are consistent with their yields, who provides us more yields and better nutrition for our plants. This is what is required. This is the need of the hour. So this whole market can be typically segmented into 5 broader categories as per design: aggregate systems and liquid system, which we saw in the last slide, which are the the ebb and flow models and the NFT and deep horticulture models. Then on the basis of crop types, we can grow vegetables, we can grow flowers, fruits, microgreens, and many other things, medicinal plants. You can, on the basis of input, we have grow medias, as we saw in case of aggregates, rock wool, cocoa peat. These are some examples of grow media. Nutrients, which we also known as fertilizers in our common day practices. Then the net pots, which is used to hold the plant, and the seeds from which the plant comes out. These are certain inputs. Then on the basis of equipment, there are LED grow lights, irrigation systems, control systems. You can see the list. As per the region, we have North America, Europe, Asia Pacific. India falls into Asia Pacific, Southern America, rest of the world. Africa and Middle East are the most emerging markets right now. Now, so basically this industry, why is it booming? So what are the drivers? Because it is environmental friendly. Only 80%, you have 80% of water savings from your normal soil farming. You can save on 80% of your water. It utilizes minimal pesticides. Due to advancements in controlled environment agriculture systems and precision farming, this industry is booming. By advancements, we mean that now you have temperature controlled settings. The typical environmental settings that a crop would need would be EC and pH, temperature, humidity, relative humidity, light intensity. These are certain factors for a plant environment. All of these, for all those engineers sitting out today in this webinar, with the help of IoT and automation, you can control all of these remotely. Again, 20 to 25% more yields per cycle is something that you can achieve from this science, which gives rise to 2 to 5 times more productivity. By productivity, we means that you are able to earn 2 to 5 times more from your same area of land. Then you see uniform annual pricing. Throughout the year, you see same pricing and better health impacts because it is grown local, it is very grown closer to cities. Input qualities, which are nutrients, seeds, are very pure in nature, and the produce is residue free. One very good importance of this science is that it has no dependence on geography or soil type. You can do it anywhere, anywhere, you name it, you can do it. And now even the private players are investing in this market. But then obviously, since these are the drivers which are ruling the market, what are the things which are stopping us? These are certain impediments like investments, the cost of initial investment in terms of buying your assets known as capex, and to run a farm, which are your operational expenses like labor, commercial electricity rates, maintenance. These are very high. Also, it can grow only lightweight crops. So anything which is like a tree, it cannot be grown through this science. So your leafy vegetables can be grown, your herbs can be grown, your plants like, eggplant, brinjal, okra, cucumbers, tomatoes, bell peppers, all of the, gourd family, bottle gourd, bitter gourd, all of these, beetroot, radish, carrot, everything can be grown through this. But we can't grow trees, right? So this is one of the impediments. Then it requires high monitoring because it is a science, it is a process-based science. So it requires very high monitoring when you compare it with the soil farming. Availability of skilled resources. Since this field is very new, it is very difficult to find a person expert in hydroponics. And that is why I request all of you to learn this science. This is the science wherein you will see ample of job opportunities coming in the future and ample of startup opportunities coming in the future. Last but not the least is lack of support. This is typically an Indian scenario where the government and insurance industry are not providing that much subsidies on the entire, the setup or even the farming when you compare it with soil-based farming. Now, these are certain things, but let's say, what are the opportunity areas that you should always be seeing? As I told you, there will be more and more jobs and more startup opportunities. So employment will be boosted, and utilization of non-productive land. So all of the barren lands that you see, we say that there is concrete jungle. Now cities are there, so we don't have productive land. It can be done on rooftops. It can be done in balcony. It can be done anywhere. You name it, you can do it. You find consistent yield per cycle, and you can also do off-season farming. You can grow coriander in peak summers with the help of hydroponics. You can do anything in any season with this farming, provided you are able to provide it a good environment and the required essential nutrients to it. Again, because the science is new, so you'll see more of new tools and machinery coming from agro field. You must have seen that drones have been started to use to spray in the farm fields. So again, now the polyhouse specific drones are coming up. Harvesting tools specific to polyhouse farming are coming up. So there is a lot to offer. One good thing, because of the controlled environment agriculture we see, is parthenocarpy seeds. These are seeds which are self-pollinated. You don't, like people associated with this science, with this domain, they would be knowing that there are, natural ways of pollination. There are man-made ways of pollination. And then there are certain seeds which do not need pollination at all. So these are self-pollinating seeds. So this is a booming market that you will see. And as our last guest speaker rightly said, organic pesticides, neem-based pesticides, you'll see nano formulations coming in. So again, these are certain opportunity areas that you would see in the field of soilless farming. Now, what are the challenges? Certain challenges: consumer awareness, training of labor. It is still not accounted as organic produce. And since it is water-based, so waterborne diseases spread exponentially in the nutrient reservoir. These are certain problems that we see. Now, going through certain trends, what are the certain trends that we would see? That there are certain type trends, like the liquid subsegment is going to be highest. Equipment wise, your ventilation system would take place, the driver's seat. Input wise, nutrients would be more. Crop type, your fruit subsegment in hydroponics is going to be, growing the fastest. When I say fruits, it means tomatoes, it means berries like strawberries, blueberries. All of these segments are going to boom a lot. Then if you see proximity, there is a new culture known as hyper local. Now, what is hyper local? Hyper local means you have your farm right in the city itself, right next to your, your living environment. So in hydroponics, how is it possible? There are indoor farms, and they're coupled with vertical hydroponics to make it hyper local, right? So after discussing the entire market scenario, what is present in soilless farming, now let's see, what are the options that we as an individuals have. Either we go for a startup or do we look out for jobs. So first we'll discuss about certain startups. So what is the business model that most of the startups are following in the field of soilless farming? It is broadly spanned into 5 categories. First is the production model. So they are into self-produced production of vegetables, as I discussed, in the previous slides. What are the various vegetables that we can do? So certain models are B2B and B2C, like your selling your produce to the direct end customer is B2C. It could be a retail segment. It could be like a direct selling with the help of your website or your apps, or it could be a B2B segment, like you selling it to Reliance Fresh. That is one example of B2B. So Reliance Fresh collection centers would be taken as B2B. They are the wholesalers or aggregators or distributors. You can sell your products under your own label, which is the branded part, or you can just sell it loose under white labels. You can sell it just like that, like on the basis of kg, that okay, I've grown, let's say 10 kgs of coriander today, I want to sell it. This is known as loose selling. Then there would be packs. In packs, what we do, we make essential packs, like packs of greens. So in one particular basket, we will have coriander, we will have spinach, we will have basil, we will have mint. So we create a pack. But this is again, one-time sale. Then there is a model of subscription model. Subscription model tells you that in a month, we will give you 4 such packs of leafy greens and you should purchase from us. So that's a subscription model. The second model is turnkey solutions. What is a turnkey solution? It is an end-to-end solution. To make your hydroponic farm, you need to set up a polyhouse or a greenhouse. So right from polyhouse setup to your internal farm setup to your growing support, everything is packaged into one service known as turnkey solutions. Third stage is consultancy, as our last guest speaker, told us that there are people who are operating in this market in the field of organic farming, who are providing consultancy services. Now, consultancy in terms of agronomy, which is your IPM, your integrated pest management, how do you plan your crop, all of these things, strategy, how do you sell it, then how do you set up, like how many, let's say, pots do you require, how much, let's say, coco peat or vermicompost do you require. So all of these things are part of consultancy. Then there is the fourth model is growing kits. Now, what are these growing kits? As you saw, in the very first picture, there was a person holding that plant. So there were certain pipes that you could see. So these are the main equipments. So along with these equipments, a particular, service provider would also provide you nutrients, your grow media, your ECPH controller probes for 2 to 3 cycles of your crop. So this is a part of a growing kit. It's like a kit. The fifth part is support accessories. So all of these kits, if you disintegrate them, they will fall under the category of support accessories. So nutrients individually, grow media individually, lights, and so on. These are the typical, 5 elements of a business model being, followed by startups in the field of soilless farming. Here is the list of few of the companies in India who are doing hydroponics farming and soilless farming. Apart from the models that we have discussed, you can see that there is Simply Fresh, Hyper Farms, Rice Hydroponics, Ella, Future Farms, Urban Kisan. On the next page, we have Letcetra, Pint Fresh, Barton Breeze, Herbivore Farms, Triton Foodworks. I just want you to take a deep look on this profile page. Just take 1 minute to sink in this whole information. Apart from what they're trying to achieve from their business models, this is an eye-opener for each and everyone sitting in this webinar right now. Just see their founder profiles. Can you see something? There are IT professionals. There are people from branding industry. There are serial entrepreneurs. There are marketing people. There are project management people. There are CAs. There is a scientist. On the next page, we have, again, people from finance background, corporate relations, business development, product development. What you don't see, more people coming from agro industry. These are the founder profiles who have successfully made their ventures a sure shot hit. So the biggest takeaway for today is, if you want to start something in this field, you might not be from agricultural background. You can be any of the following: an engineer, a marketing person, a salesperson, anyone. But if you have knack for processes, if you know that you can learn a process, you can monitor that process, and you can control that process, then soilless farming is the go-to solution for you. Again, one more thing that I would really want you guys to see in these slides. You can see on the very left side, you can see, a house kind of a thing, an individual, a group of friends, a teacher and a student. And in the last slide, urban farm, and in case of Urban Kisan, you see, so many people associated. What are these? So what kind of people, are associated as founders? They could be from family, as in case of Simply Fresh. They could be individuals, as in case of Hyper Farms or Future Farms. They could be a group of friends, like in case of Rice Hydroponics. There could be a teacher student duo. Can you imagine your own teacher and you can create a startup if you have interest for the same area? Urban Kisan, all of these people, they have almost 3 to 4 founders. All of them are just related by one passion, and that is soilless farming. That is how, the soilless farming startups are being operated in India. So if you want to start now, you really need not to be from an agro background. All you need to be good with is your processes. If you're good with your processes, you can do this science. Yeah. And of course, the things that you don't have, you create a good team and you network and you make your dream team and you validate your processes and your idea. Apart from these, if we see, what are the various jobs that are, available in this domain that we see? First, it's a domain-based jobs. Domain-based jobs like something from agriculture fraternity itself. So people like agronomists, botanists, nutrition experts, pathologists, these are certain, skills that you would want to have when you want to join as a domain-based role in soilless farming. Some of the jobs, not only in India, you will be amazed to know, outside India, opportunities are so great. If you learn this science in India, you practice it for 2 to 3 years, you gain hands-on. We have seen engineers going out from India saying that, I want to earn a crore. We have seen so many management people going out, but we have never seen most of the farmers going out. But this is the time for you. If you really want to do even big in your jobs, this is the time for you. A head grower, an agronomist would be earning almost 36,000 to 51,000 USD dollars per annum. This amount is not small. It is almost, closer to, if you see, this would be closer to 35 to 36 lakhs per annum. What numbers? Then you have, harvest supervisors, grow farmers. Then apart from these, there are function-based jobs like in the fields of operations and supply chain management, vendor management, inventory management. You see jobs in the fields of marketing and sales, digital marketing, branding, sales, direct sales, channel sales, engineers specifically, I'm again repeating and emphasizing, computer science, IT, civil, packaging, all of these people, electronics, to make these systems work. These are highly, technical systems when it comes to, what technology is backing them. So to create remote controls, to present remote reports, to make systems automate with the help of sensors, all of these engineers are required in this field. So do not think that this field is not at all for engineers. As you can rightly see from here, most of the company profile peoples are from engineering backgrounds. Simply Fresh is into BECS. Then Hyperfarms, again from engineering background. If you see Rise Hydroponics, BTech Mechanical. If you see Ella Sustainables, BTech Electricals and Electronics Engineering. If you see Future Farms, BTech Electronics and Computer Science, Electronics and Communication Engineering. You name it, you have people from every length and breadth of engineers. So these are some of the job opportunities also, apart from, entrepreneurial opportunities that you will see in soilless farming coming, to be true. Now, apart from this, some of the achievements that, I personally made during my startup, my first startup, Anupam Farms. It was a farm, spanned across 7.5 acres. We had 3 acres of polyhouse. In those polyhouse, we have employed almost 25 resources ranging from skilled to unskilled labor. Then, I have myself designed 1 acre commercial farm of leafy vegetables that can house 1 lakh saplings at the same time, along with 82,000 plants of leafy greens in a deep water culture system. I've also designed a viable aeration solution. So as we discussed that, plants would also require, certain amount of oxygen at the root. So for this, we need an aeration system. Mechanical engineers, please listen to this. We need to have certain system that can make the system work. So for aeration system, I myself designed it in just 1/10 of the cost versus its closest commercial competitor. To make, a half acre aeration system, the minimum quotes that we used to get was 10 lakhs, 9 lakhs, 8 lakhs. The system was made in just 87,000. Yeah. Again, from the field of automation, if we see, so for a dosing machine, like a machine which is responsible to provide water and fertilizers to your plants, it was an automated machine, but it used to take almost 40 minutes to conduct 1 cycle. With the help of, a manual algorithm that I designed with the help of my data analysis skills, I cut down the time to 2/3. The same time, the same cycle was being executed with the help of my manual algorithm in just 10 to 15 minutes. So that is why, it does not matter which background you come from. You should have the required skills, you should have passion, and you should be very focused on innovating. You should plan, don't overthink. You should just reiterate your processes. And last but not the least, I would want to show you what are the length and breadth that we have covered. Consistently, we have produced spotless, highly nutritious, extremely fresh, uber clean residue-free veggies on a commercial scale, ranging over 4 varieties of lettuce, spinach, coriander, fenugreek, which is methi, Italian pesto basil, today used in so many pastas and pizzas, Thai peppermint used in mouth freshness, broccoli, we know it, European cucumbers, cocktail cucumbers are the smaller ones, cherry tomatoes are small red tomatoes that you can see in the the last picture, the extreme right corner of this collage that I have created. These are very sweet in nature. A tomato, very sweet, just like a mishri. Then we have grape tomatoes. These are pulpy tomatoes, but very small in size. We have bell peppers, which we known as mostly as capsicum, yellow and red color. These are called as bell peppers. And then there are seedless, lesser seed versions, which are sweeter in taste, known as sweet peppers. So all of this, a person like me who didn't have any agricultural background, but had the required skill sets, I've been able to produce it in last 1.5 years. So all you need to do is focus hard, learn your skills. Whatever you don't have, you acquire your team and just get started with your project. So last but not the least, thank you so much for your patience. My name is Dhruv Gupta. This is my phone number, my email address. I'm on Facebook and Instagram with this title as DConquers, DCONQUERS. You can reach out to me. Under MD Agro Paathshala, which has been founded by me and Mohit. Our aim is to disseminate knowledge about soilless farming and to train people, at least 1 lakh farmers in India itself, so that we become independent growers. Even in tough times like COVID, we are self-dependent, Atmanirbhar. That is the motto. And our target audience is anyone, any good learner who wants to learn soilless farming, who wants to get into hobby farming. So any farmer, any school student, college student, housewives, entrepreneurs, working professionals, and even retired personnel. See, this is the power of this science. Anyone can learn it. And if you can learn it, you can grow your vegetables, clean vegetables, healthy vegetables. So thank you so much. And I would just want to say that, it was really great associating with MUIT, and I hope for a very, long-term association with the college and, the dignitaries. Thank you so much for having us. Shortly, in the chat box, I would really want to, share, I would want to have feedback from you guys. So I'll be sharing, the feedback link in the chat box also, and on your respective mail IDs also, which we have got through a registration link. My only request is, please do give us your feedback. This is just an overview on things. If you want to learn more about it, we provide offline seminars, we provide, online seminars and webinars. So stay associated with us. Thank you so much. That was my time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Guru, sir. And it was really very wonderful session. I mean, it was the field I don't know before today, that what is hydroponics, and I belongs to commerce and management background. I know there are various fields which are emerging in last few decades, 2 or 3 decades, and especially after 1991 LPG, there are many new fields are coming in each and every industry. And agriculture, definitely it is very important industry for the country like India. We are basically focusing on our mostly population which are living still in the rural areas, and the most if I say the amount of people are largely involving in agriculture. And the best thing is that there are the variety of opportunities which are now emerging, like the soilless farming. This is a very good type of opportunity for those students who belongs to village area, rural areas, and their father and forefather have a land and they are involved in agriculture activities. So now, after getting the BBA or BCom or BTech or MBA or any professional degree from any organization, how they can contribute in their family business. So not only on their local village level, not only on their state level or the country level, if they are interested, they can make more and more money also, even if they enter in international market also. So this is a very good opportunity, and I would say the success of any academic event, especially on if we talk about the online event like the workshop, the webinar, it depends on the number, the participation of the participant. And I'm very happy. I think in a very short effort of 4 or 5 days, I was continuously seeing the list, the number of participation, and it was uh, more than 100. It was it is very motivating for us also, because when we was deciding for the theme of the workshop, it was a little bit, I was worried about that it might be very specific. So might be that the student of agriculture background will be very much interested, but the good thing is the response is from all over India.
Yeah.
There are many from South India. There are, I have seen the registration from the Hyderabad, Telangana, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, even some of from Northeast, Uttar Pradesh, in the list, Rajasthan. So all over India, the participant has joined, and it was consistent around 100 participants. So now I would request to our participant, they have many questions and has written in chat box also, so they can unmute themselves and can raise the question directly to our panelist. I think Dr. Chidanand Patil sir is also with us. Patil
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So after getting few questions, we will request to Professor S.K. Dwivedi sir for the concluding remark, compliment also, and with the comment also, so that in future what we can, how we can plan this such type of workshop and webinar in a more, more valuable way. So, dear participants, you can ask your question directly. Please unmute yourself. Okay, so I think they are planning for joining, and our IT team is allowing one by one to such type of participant, those who are interested. The one question is, I want to raise that as we have discussed very much about the hydroponics. So to Dhruv Gupta sir, hydroponics is basically becoming a more popular in urban area. However, can you suggest how it can be utilized for rural farming areas for livelihood and business, especially where the scarcity of water is a major problem?
As I have mentioned in my slides as well, when you compare it with normal soil-based farming, it just requires 20% or even 10% of the water which is required. So when we say water scarcity areas, obviously there is less water. If there is no water, definitely you won't be able to do hydroponics, because hydro is the main word. But even if you have lesser water, you can do this area in terms of, you would have seen nurseries which are coming up. So nowadays, more than even less than soils, you'll find nurseries, the substrate uses coco peat. But now how many of us do we know that there are even grades in coco peat? For nursery level, we call it sieved coco peat, which has more of pith and less of fiber. But due to unawareness of so many people around, that okay, like for us green means cucumber, so brown means coco peat. It is not like that. If you want to do something, you have to do it perfectly. Even in rural areas, I can see one of the questions that how you can do it in rural areas. Firstly, we need to understand, when I said entrepreneurship or as a farming, You need not to have a hefty setup. It is all based on your environment. If your environment is harsh, only then you need a closed structure like a fan and pad system. But let's say if your environment is good, even shade nets, most of the nurseries that you see it is under green shade net. What is the cost of it? At the same time, if I can say, only approximately 1 liter of water is required per plant of a cucumber per day for it to grow. This is all you need. So even in water scarce area, that is the beauty of it. Cocoa peat absorbs 5 times the water of soil, because let's say if a water stays in soil for, let's say, 1 day, in cocoa peat it remains for 5 days, 4 to 5 days. That is the beauty of this science. The moisture retains. Your root does not need water in excess. They need moisture. So even for rural areas, if you're going for these practices, it is very friendly to do this. It is not like that you just keep on, अगर आपके पास बहुत ज्यादा पैसा है या फिर आप बहुत fancy system बना रहे हो तो ही आप कर सकते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है. You can do it in open also. But on commercial level, as we discussed, you need to do it in a protected cultivation, because over there are sales commitments, there are production commitments. So you cannot oversee that.
Okay, Indu Kumar, you can ask the question directly, sir. Indu Kumar. So those who are interested to raise question, just raise your hand in the chat box and we will allow them one by one. So Dr. Neeraj Jain, please, I would request to our IT team, kindly allow Dr. Neeraj Jain ma'am, then Indu Kumar, Dr. Nitin Pawar also. Okay. So Neeraj Jain ma'am, you can ask the question.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Please.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I'd like to congratulate. It was a very, very, very informative session. And the speakers were really expert in their area. I was very amazed by the information that they dissipated over here. My question was actually, what kind of plants are best suited, especially crop plants? What are the best crop plants that are suited for this hydroponic system? In general, he had told, means the speaker had told that what kind of plants are suited. But if specifically I ask for some plants, what are those kind of plants which can be used best in hydroponics?
Thank you so much for the question, ma'am. Firstly, I would like to answer. It is very important for you to define your objective why you're trying to do hydroponics. So if you're trying to do it on a home level, let's say for your own consumption, any plant is a good fit. As I have mentioned in the previous stages that, all of these plants, be it from a gourd family, be it a leafy plant like spinach or a lettuce, or, kale, herbs like basil, rosemary, oregano, thyme, mint, you have so many of them. Then in wine crops specifically, which are grown on, like a wine, jo bale pe apne ugte hain, like, your bottle gourds, your ridge gourds, apple gourds for that matter, and, your cucumbers, everything you can grow. But this is something, from the perspective of your homegrown consumption, you can grow anything. But for commercial purpose, if you want to do, the major idea behind growing any crop is, since the costs of investments and operational expenditures are high, so either you would want to grow a crop which grows in abundance, like a crop like cucumber, or you would want to have a crop, which has a shorter cycle, so that, the revenue stream flows in, like a multi-harvest crop, like a spinach, that you can do, like mint you can do. Again, objective is what matters. Crop like bell peppers, they come in a lesser quantity, but their market value is more. Similarly for cherry tomatoes, I'm not even talking about tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes, the production is a little lesser. Per plant, you get hardly 3 to 3.5 kgs. And in 1 acre, you can house almost 7,600 plants. So roughly, if you see in an entire cycle, what you get is 21 to 22 tons. But this sells in the market for a price of, the least price that you can sell it off for is 380 rupees a kg. So it is totally your objective based. So a crop with, either, we see market size as, the unit versus the value. So if you're producing more and the quantity price per unit price is lesser, that is one fix. And another is you can have higher price with a lesser volume. So when the market size is feasible, so crops like bell peppers, crop like, strawberry, crop like, herbs like, basil, even crops like, lettuce, crops like mint, your herb section, medicinal plants like turmeric, all of these plants, not just plants, you can get into flowers. You will see these days orchids. Do you know orchids can be grown in charcoal? Just charcoal. You don't even need cocoa peat because charcoal is also a substrate. So there are so many things that you can do. It is the market value that you're trying to attack to. So commercially, crops like orchids, crops like like flowers like orchids, medicinal flowers, like turmeric. Then short span cycle crops like lettuce, microgreens, your multi-harvest crops like oregano, thyme, and your basil. You can do these crops. So this is what I would like to say as a conclusion statement.
Thank you so much for answering it so comprehensively. But if I'm permitted, I'll just ask a small question. Just came to my mind.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, please ask.
Is there a compromise on the quality? I mean, the fruit size. As I was just thinking about the capsicum or the tomato, is there a compromise on the fruit size when we are doing in hydroponics?
No, ma'am, not at all. I'll give you a very one very brief example of this. Whenever we are trying to do a crop, every crop has a unique recipe because every crop has a different profile for the macro and micronutrients which it requires, right? So we just know that NPK is what is required: nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. That is the main idea about it. But there are almost 17 elements in total found in nature, along with the trace elements and macronutrients, which comprises the whole set. Each crop has a different profile for it. Each crop that we grow, we have a specific recipe for it. So when I say a recipe, so as I discussed, there are nutrients in a water solution. This nutrient is formed by a recipe, and recipe is a well-balanced recipe between a micro and a macronutrients constituents. So every plant gets its required nutrition at various stages of life. So a sapling, let's say when we are kids, as a child, we might require just one chapati to eat. When we grow a little more, we need two. When we are into fully mature adults, we need three. So the beauty of this science is when a crop, evolves during the space of time, we provide it the exact nutrition which is provided at that point of time in its life, which is the well-balanced nutrition. Each crop, in the entire farm, gets the same amount of nutrition, the same set of nutrition. That is why we say a crop like a hydroponic produce is identical in nature. It is like a batch, that you can see a uniformity, entire lot in a 1 acre farm. If you would have seen the last slide that I showed, a cherry tomato farm or a cucumber farm that I showed, it was uniform in nature. So your crops are uniform in nature and you cannot get a better nutritive value. But here the key focus is your nutrient recipe should be well researched. So typically in the bigger farms, the commercial farms that we see that I also mentioned, and even at our farms, we had recipes which are commercially and, which have been researched upon very well. And then they have been used to produce a plant. So I hope I have answered your question.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You have answered with a lot of clarity. It was very nice session. Thank you so much. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dr. Neeraj Jain, for asking such a valuable question. And another question is from Dipendra. Dipendra, now you are allowed for the question. You can ask directly. Dipendra.
Yes. क्या आप मुझे सुन पा रहे हैं?
जी बताइए, बोलिए.
Okay, thank you to all of you, sir, and thank you to Maharishi University to organize this session. Basically, on the agriculture fields. So my question is that I am belongs from the rural background and also in the IT field and running startups in the waste management and in IT fields also. Mr. Dwivedi sir is also known me about the as an incubatee. So my question is that sir, in my rural hometown this season कुछ ग्रुप्स के पीपल मिल करके हम कई एक फ्रेंड्स मिलकर हमने काला नमक राइस की खेती करी है इन अप्रॉक्सीमेट 10 एकड़ फार्मिंग्स में. तो क्या हमें उसकी कोई असिस्टेंस मिल सकती है इस ग्रुप के थ्रू या कोई ऐसे एक्सपर्ट्स हैं जो हमें उसमें नई वैरायटीज या नए तरीके से उसको करने की हमें असिस्टेंस दे सकें, या एक्सपोर्ट करने की, या जो हमारी बिजनेस मार्केट्स हैं जहाँ पे हम ले जाके इसको सेल कर सकें एक अच्छी क्वांटिटी में और एज वेल एक अच्छी प्राइस पे, उसका कोई असिस्टेंस हमें मिल सकता है? Is I am audible?
Yes, yes. So,
डॉक्टर विजय कुमार,
yes, sir.
आप भी कुछ बता सकते हैं या डॉक्टर पाटिल भी आंसर दे सकते हैं इसका?
Dr. Patil is with us.
Yes, sir.
Sir, do you want to give answer for this question? So,
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yes, please, sir. So might be he's asking by, I think he belongs to Uttar Pradesh. You can give a general answer that how he can get the assistance by the government or by the private groups. What are the platform and how he can initiate the process of export and import regarding this column.
Okay. Actually, sir, as दीपेंद्र जी बोल रहे थे कि उन्होंने एक ग्रुप में बना रहे हैं काला नमक. So basically, it's a group of farmers. I assume that nowadays government is giving yes. So government is giving emphasis towards FPOs. That is nothing but farmer producer organizations. Okay. So when a group of farmers they come together, so certain assistance is provided from the government side. Okay, through SFAC, that is Small Farmers Agribusiness Consortium is there. So that is the organization. So अगर आप एक फार्मर प्रोड्यूसर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बनाते हैं तो आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन मिलने के बाद कुछ असिस्टेंस मिलेगा आपको थ्रू गवर्नमेंट.
Sorry sir, but I have gone previously to the district level officers, जिसको हम लोग वहाँ पे कृषि जिला अधिकारी बोलते हैं, और also मैं मंडल तक भी गया था. That my rural areas belongs from the गोरखपुर मंडल, तो मैं वहाँ भी गया था. But government is in the planning कि वो ऐसा कुछ करने वाले हैं, बट अभी एग्जैक्टली प्रैक्टिकलिटी में कुछ नहीं है. तो दैट्स व्हाई आई एम आस्किंग दिस क्वेश्चन कि मुझे कुछ अगर इस लेवल पे सहयोग मिल सकता है, क्योंकि वहाँ बहुत सारे ऐसे फार्मर्स हैं जिनके पास लैंड नहीं है, वो करते हैं और वो जैसे कि अभी तक खेती करते आए हैं उस तरीके से. तो आई हैव प्रोवाइडेड देम लैंड एंड आल्सो द उनको हमने फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट भी दिया हुआ है कि नहीं आप ओडीओपी का प्रोग्राम गवर्नमेंट कर रही है. और अभी एक अच्छा मतलब इंटरनेशनल फेयर भी ऑर्गेनाइज हुआ था डिस्ट्रिक्ट में हमारे यहाँ सिद्धार्थ नगर में. तो इसी काला नमक राइस को लेकर के, एंड इट्स वेल नोन बाय एवरीवन एज इंटरनेशनली प्रीवियसली से, बट अभी कोई असिस्टेंस सर प्रैक्टिकलिटी में है नहीं गवर्नमेंट के पास.
मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूँ, आप जब शुरू किया काला नमक राइस जो है, आप इसका मार्केटिंग पहले कहाँ करते थे? आप इसका पोटेंशियल कुछ जानते हैं आप?
सर नहीं, मैं वही आपसे सर ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि देखिए ये बेसिकली काला नमक जो है वो आई एम बिलोंग्स फ्रॉम द सिद्धार्थ नगर एंड महाराजगंज डिस्ट्रिक्ट. ठीक है. तो ये काला नमक राइस वहाँ का मतलब प्रीवियसली 400-500 ईयर से किया जाता, और उससे पहले से भी वहाँ का मतलब बेसिक पैदावार एक है, एक तरीके से खेती कहा जाए तो वहाँ का जो क्रॉप है. बट लाइक लास्ट 10 to 15 ईयर्स पानी की कमी और मार्केट ना होने की वजह से, क्योंकि ये थोड़ा सा, और जो हमारे हाइब्रिड प्लांट्स आ रहे हैं, हाइब्रिड धान जो हमारे आ रहे हैं, उनके कंपैरेटिवली ये थोड़ा सा टाइम टेकिंग होता है. मतलब जो इजिली अगर कोई 120 डेज या 2-3 मंथ्स में हो रहा है तो ये थोड़ा सा टाइम लगा लेता है. तो अभी क्या कुछ हाइब्रिड प्लांट्स भी आए हैं इसमें, तो किसान अभी इसको कर नहीं रहा है, उतनी अच्छी तरीके से नहीं करना चाहता.
मैं ये कह रहा हूँ इसका यूनिक फीचर क्या है ताकि कंज्यूमर इसको अप्रिशिएट करे.
जैसे कि आप अगर से मैं आपसे पूछूं कि आप बासमती खाते होंगे, ठीक है, तो बासमती राइस जो है वेल नोन बाय एवरीबॉडी. ठीक है. ये बासमती राइस से कहीं ज्यादा सर अच्छा धान, अच्छा चावल है जो कि वेल नोन्ड है, बट ये एक सर्टेन एरिया में ही किया जाता है. तो अभी उससे ज्यादा पॉपुलर नहीं.
जो आप बोल रहे हैं कि आपका एरिया में ये वैरायटी फेमस है.
जी.
कुछ रीजन में ये फेमस है, बट जो ये राइस जो है मतलब इतना पॉपुलर नहीं है जहां बाहर के स्टेट के लोग जाने इसको.
राइट सर, क्योंकि वहाँ पे वो इन्वायरमेंट नहीं है, इट्स नीड मोर वाटर, और अभी वहाँ पे ये है नहीं। ये हम लोगों का मतलब एक तरीके से बोलूं कि हमारे एरिया में ही ये सबसे ज्यादा होता है।
तो
बट
मैं
ये
यही कह रहा था कि एक्चुअली कोई भी एक्टिविटी स्टार्ट करने से पहले हमको मार्केट को अच्छे से स्टडी करना चाहिए। जैसा कि मैं शुरुआत से बोल रहा था कि जो मार्केट में डिमांड है, तो उस चीज को थोड़ा, जैसा कि मैं एक कहना चाहता हूँ, हमारे इधर केरला से भी स्टूडेंट्स है इधर, ठीक है। तो उनका उधर क्या है, चिप्स, जो बनाना चिप्स एंड जैक फ्रूट चिप्स, ठीक है। तो ये दोनों चिप्स है ना, वो जब घर जाते हैं तो लेके आते हैं, तो इधर के बच्चों को वो लोग देते हैं जब वैकेशन में घर जाते हैं। तो उनको क्या है, तो पंजाब के स्टूडेंट्स या अदर स्टेट से भी स्टूडेंट जो हमारे कैंपस में है, वो लोग है ना, दे स्टार्टेड गिविंग ऑर्डर्स टू देम बिकॉज दे स्टार्टेड लाइकिंग द प्रोडक्ट, ठीक है। तो अभी कुछ हमारे एग्री बिजनेस के स्टूडेंट्स है जो अभी बिकॉज ऑफ कोविड-19 उन्होंने कुछ शुरू नहीं किया, अदरवाइज उन्होंने एक मॉडल, उनको हमने एक प्रपोज किया था कि इधर का जो प्रोडक्ट केरला में फेमस है वो है ना पंजाब में लाना चाहते हैं वो लोग, ठीक है। तो आप कौन सा स्टेट से बिलोंग करते हैं, क्योंकि ये चिप्स है ना, पहले अवेयरनेस क्रिएट किया, अदरवाइज इधर पोटैटो चिप्स ही फेमस है। तो उसका टेस्ट अगर कोई खाएगा तो दोबारा मंगवाएगा, ऐसा टेस्ट है वो।
सर, अगर काला नमक राइस के बारे में बात करें तो आई थिंक ये तो काफी पॉपुलर है इधर, अपने नॉर्थ इंडिया में तो बहुत पॉपुलर है। अभी जितने भी हमारे
मैं दीपेन जी, मैं इसमें एक दो चीजें ऐड करना चाहूंगा। वन थिंग इज कि कई बार ऐसे प्रोडक्ट होते हैं जो किसी स्पेसिफिक रीजन में मिलते हैं, जैसे पाटिल सर ने बोला कि चिप्स का एक एग्जांपल, इट इज नॉट कॉमन इन नॉर्थ इंडिया। मैं भी यूपी से बिलोंग करता हूँ, बट मैं जब पंजाब में था तो वो चिप्स मैंने खाया। कुछ स्पेशल तरह का कैश्यू होता है, काजू, जो कि सिर्फ वहाँ पे अवेलेबल होता है और बहुत ढूंढने पे शायद आपको मिले। ऐसी चीजों के लिए, जहां तक कि आपने एक्सपोर्ट की बात की, एक तो ये है कि आपको पहले उसकी पोटेंशियल मार्केट के बारे में स्टडी करना होगा और वहां पे अपनी रीच को बढ़ाना होगा, क्योंकि ग्लोबलाइजेशन का जो दौर है उसमें कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि हमारा छोटा प्रोडक्ट है, छोटे एरिया में है तो सिर्फ वहीं पे लोग जानेंगे। हमारे पास इंटरनेशनल मार्केट भी है, हम उसको रीच कर सकते हैं। थोड़ा एफर्ट ये लगेगा कि गवर्नमेंट ने कई तरीके के एक्सपोर्ट प्रमोशन काउंसिल्स बना रखे हैं, और नो डाउट कि वो हमारे हर एरिया में ज्योग्राफिकली वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है, या फिर उसके अलावा किसी प्रोडक्ट स्पेसिफिक से रिलेटेड भी एक्सपोर्ट प्रमोशन काउंसिल्स हैं, तो आपको उसमें मेंबर होना होगा। उसके अलावा कुछ फेयर्स होते हैं, तो ये मुझे राइस का नहीं पता, बट एग्रीकल्चर फेयर जैसे आप सर ने बताया अपने एग्जांपल में, वहां पे जाके इस, जैसे आपका एक ग्रुप है, आपका कुछ फर्म का नाम होगा, आपको ऐसी जगह जाके थोड़ा सा लोगों को बताना होगा, एंड देन स्लोली, और उसके अलावा ना सिर्फ आपका, ये आपका इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे हुआ, बट आपके जैसे उस स्पेसिफिक रीजन में अगर वो प्रोडक्ट मिल रहा है तो और भी लोगों को वहां पे अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करें, सो दैट कि कुछ 4 से 5 या 10 ऐसे फॉर्म्स हो वहां पे, जो कि वो साइमल्टेनियसली, क्योंकि अगर एक का बेनिफिट होगा तो दूसरे का भी होगा, तो उसकी पब्लिसिटी करके, ये दिस इज अ लॉन्ग टर्म प्रोसेस, मुझे ऐसा लगता है। और इसके बिना तो अगर आप चाहोगे कि काला नमक, अगर आप किसी स्पेसिफिक एरिया में आप खेती कर रहे हो और उसके बाद आपको उसी लोकल मार्केट में अच्छा प्राइस मिल जाए, तो मुझे लगता है कि ये
प्राइस इज नॉट मैटर सर, प्राइस इज नॉट मैटर। डिमांड हमारी इतनी है कि हमारे खेतों से ये उठ जाता है। अभी प्रॉब्लम यहाँ पे दो आ रही है सर। पहली प्रॉब्लम ये है कि अगर हमें कोई ऐसा इंस्टीट्यूट या कोई ऐसा एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटी का सपोर्ट हमें मिलता है जिससे हमारी जो सीड है, सीड अभी हमारी वही पुरानी चल रही, कोई हाइब्रिड सीड अगर आई हो या उसका कोई एक असिस्टेंस हमें मिल जाए या सॉइल टेस्टिंग का असिस्टेंस मिल जाए, इस तरीके की हमें सीड, जो अर्ली वैरायटीज होती हैं, अर्ली वैरायटीज भी हैं इसमें, बट लोकल लेवल पे सर वो पहुंच नहीं पाती हैं, वो रिसर्च तक ही सीमित रह जाती है। तो मैं उन सारी वैरायटीज को अपने जो हमारे ग्राउंड फार्मर्स हैं, जो एकदम निचले तबके के लोग हैं, वहां तक पहुंचाना चाहते हैं, जो कि काम कर रहे हैं।
सर मैं आपको इसमें एक और इंस्टीट्यूट सजेस्ट कर सकता हूँ, दैट इज नॉट इंस्टीट्यूट, ICAR, इंडियन काउंसिल ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर रिसर्च। अगर आप अपनी रीच उन तक बना लेते हो तो ICAR के बहुत सारे सेंटर्स हैं ऑल ओवर, यूनिवर्सिटीज में भी कुछ जगह आई थिंक रन करते हैं, और उनके इंडिविजुअल भी हैं, तो वहां से आपको स्पेसिफिक नॉलेज उस पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट के बारे में मिल सकेगी।
ओके सर।
Okay, sir. So
Thank
Sanjay Sinha
Actually,
ji,
just to add,
yes, yes. Sanjay Sinha ji
हाँ sir,
is
just एक
also,
sentence.
yes, yes, yes. Patil sir, please.
सॉरी सर, हाँ मैं ये कह रहा था कि जैसा आपने अच्छा कहा कि आईसीआर एक इंस्टीट्यूट है जो इस पे काम करता है। अगर आप बिहार से बिलोंग करते हैं तो बिहार एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटी है, और उत्तर प्रदेश में भी है ना बहुत सारे एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटी है, जैसा बनारस हिंदू यूनिवर्सिटी है उसमें भी है। तो इसमें एक्चुअली जेनेटिक्स एंड प्लांट ब्रीडिंग एक डिपार्टमेंट होता है, वो लोग है ना इस पे नया वैरायटी जो शॉर्ट टर्म आप बोल रहे हैं वो लोग उस पे काम करते हैं जी। तो आप जो स्टेट में काम करते हैं, मतलब ये कर रहे हैं उधर का जो एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटी है ना, स्पेशली जेनेटिक्स एंड प्लांट ब्रीडिंग डिपार्टमेंट से आप अप्रोच करेंगे तो मिल सकते हैं इन्फॉर्मेशन।
यूपी के आसपास आई थिंक गोंडा में आचार्य नरेंद्र देव एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटी है, लोकेशन आई एम मिसिंग। तो मुझे लगता है कि सर आपको इस स्पेसिफिक जो आपका ये काला नमक राइस है उसके लिए आप एक्सपर्ट्स से मिल सकते हैं, और आपको बाकी भी चीजें मिल जाएंगी, कैसे क्या असिस्टेंट या किसी भी इश्यूज के रिगार्डिंग जो आपको पर्टिकुलर है। सो संजय सिन्हा जी,
yes sir, good afternoon
yes,
sir.
yes, please ask your question in a
Thank
so that the time is already
yes, yes, just I
ended
want
and,
to one
yes,
question
yes.
sir, just because those who are new in agri and they need day to do contact for development and problem, so that you get the right decision, right solution. So any contact number 24 hours, any contact number for the right expert I want to know sir. जैसे कोई किचन गार्डन है वहां पर कुछ प्रॉब्लम आ गई, कुछ या अगर ठीक नहीं हो रहा है, मतलब फल वगैरह नहीं आया या उसमें कीड़े लग गए हैं, दवाई लाकर देने के बाद भी उसमें कुछ इम्प्रूवमेंट नहीं होती है, तो कुछ ऐसा कुछ है जो
कांटेक्ट। सर देयर आर आई थिंक मेनी गवर्नमेंट सपोर्ट इज प्रोवाइडेड एट स्टेट लेवल एंड नेशनल लेवल। कुछ एक दो स्कीम में जैसे किसान क्रेडिट कार्ड है, नहीं, सो नॉट किसान क्रेडिट कार्ड, दैट इज कॉल सेंटर, किसान कॉल सेंटर है। तो अगर आपका कोई स्पेसिफिक इस तरीके का क्वेश्चन है तो दैट इज अवेलेबल आई थिंक मॉर्निंग 9 to 6 PM। तो आप ऐसे आप उनसे पूछ सकते हो। रेस्ट अगर आपको आपका कोई स्पेसिफिक इस तरीके की चीजें हैं जहाँ पे आपको लगता है कि एक साइंटिस्ट की जरूरत है, देन अगेन मैं कहूँगा कि कुछ ऐसे इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं जैसे जो लोग यहाँ पे शुगर केन पे काम कर रहे हैं, वो लखनऊ में शुगर केन रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट है, वहाँ से एसोसिएटेड हो सकते हैं, या जो और भी एग्रीकल्चर है, जैसे जो लोग हमारे यहाँ फिशिंग से जुड़े हुए हैं, लखनऊ में देयर इज अ मत्स्य विभाग करके है, वहाँ पे साइंटिस्ट हैं। सो दैट स्पेसिफिक नॉलेज आप वहाँ पे डिस्कस कर सकते हो। इसके अलावा तमाम जो स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं, कुछ सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटीज में भी, जैसे सर ने पाटिल सर ने बोला फ्यू एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटीज आर देयर, तो वहाँ पे भी स्पेसिफिक रिसोर्स पर्सन्स हैं। कुछ सेंटर्स ऐसे हैं जो ट्रेनिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट आपको प्रोवाइड करवाते हैं, बट आपको थोड़ा सा एफर्ट ये करना पड़ेगा कि ऐसे लोगों को पॉइंट आउट करना पड़ेगा। इस ऐसे इश्यूज में आप मेरे से कनेक्ट हो सकते हैं। सो मेरे जो हमारे इंक्यूबेशंस में लोग जुड़े हैं, मेंटर्स जुड़े हैं, हम आपको बेटर एक प्लेटफॉर्म प्रोवाइड करवा सकते हैं कि कैसे आपकी चीजें होंगी। चिदानंद पाटिल सर जैसे लोग हैं हमारे पास, अब मैं उनका कॉन्टेक्ट डिटेल शेयर कर लूंगा इफ यू वांट, तो आप स्पेसिफिकली उनसे इस तरीके की चीजें को भी डिस्कशन कर सकते हैं। कोई और क्वेश्चन? आई थिंक
वेरी गुड सेशन सर।
ओके, समांता जी, Samantha, you can ask your question, last question.
Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, 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 Samantha ji.
Yeah, first of all, it's a wonderful session. In fact, I mean, the best part which I liked is that even if you are not in the domain, still if you have passion, you can choose that, that skill. But then my question was, is there any, particular consultancies to come and do a survey of our roof around 3,000 square feet, and they can suggest which are the crops we can grow up on our roof. At the same time, please, sir, Odisha is a natural disaster prone state. So that also has to be taken into the account. That's what I wanted.
Okay. So,
particularly, I need some consultancy, or I mean, they have to visit and see. I mean, of course, they are charged and everything is there, no doubt about that. But then we need an expert advice.
Okay, so as for now, we at Maharishi University do not have any consultancy regarding information. But I would request to Patil sir or the Dhruv Gupta sir if they have any knowledge for information for such type of any consultancy, please.
Yeah, I think I would once again present my screen so
Yes.
that I can share. Sir, apart from my company itself, even we do provide consultancy. But my first question to you would be, before you call out any consultant in the market, it is very important for you to understand your purpose. As I mentioned earlier also, do you want to do it for your home production? You want to do it on a commercial level? That is the first objective that you should be clear of. Because see, as consultants, we can tell you so many things, that you can grow this, you can grow that. Important is, if you want to sell it commercially, you should have a market for that. This is the main thing, because it is not the question that you cannot grow. It is the question that if you want to sell it or not. If you want to do it for your home production, nothing like it. You can do anything, sir. I've opened up my slide again to show you who are the consultant groups also, apart from my group, who are in this business, who are doing this. But my sincere request to you, like you can see Hyper Farms, Rise, Ella, Future Farms, Urban Kisan, all of these people. And apart from that, you can see again, not able to move this slide. Yeah, you can see another like Pint Fresh, Barton Research, all of them. These are good consultants. Even if you want, certain advices you can have. But my first question is, if you want to do it commercially, first I would request is that out of that space, first you need to know what all crops you can sell in your nearby areas. Specifically, when you said that Odisha is a, you see lots and lots of natural disasters happening over there. So firstly, it is not that, that you can sell any product to anyone. You need to see if you have a right market for that. So even if you want to grow, let's say bell peppers, even if you want to grow palak, let alone itself, do you have a market for that? If you have a market for that, how much is it willing to pay you? What are the quantities that you would need for a daily production? That is how you plan your space. You need to know these things first. Only then you can optimize your space. Like, let's say, if I just need, let's say 5 kgs of palak, let's say every day, and I just need, let's say 500 square feet for that, then why would you want to, invest your money in a 2,000 or 3,000 space area? And let's say, even if you've spent that much of money in your area, if you're not able to sell it, then you'll have cost pressures. You'll feel that the science is bogus. You have invested lots of money. You have lost trust in the science and, the customer base. So first, very important for you is you conduct your market research, sir. This is very important. And then you can contact any of the consultant groups. They would be happy to help you.
Okay, thank you, sir. So one last question.
Thank you,
yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
One last question is from Sunit Arya. Sir, please ask your question in a very brief.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sunit Arya. I'm also in Incubatee at Maharishi University. So my question is basically I have 2 questions. One is how easy or difficult is to find the market, as Dhruv was explaining just now also. If we become a producer, commercial producer, how easy or difficult is to find a market for selling the product? The second question, maybe I can just go on, is there any market for cooling as a service? Because at this moment, if we see that most of the cold storage are focused on the potatoes. I just wanted to understand if there is any potential, for cooling as a service for any other products in the market, specifically if I talk about UP region.
So Patil sir, would you like to answer? I think you have
Yes,
much
sir.
more information for cold storage as it
Yes, sir,
is
yes, sir.
very common in Punjab and Haryana.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
To Sunit Arya ji, आपने सही कहा, because majorly in India, nearly 70% space is occupied by only one crop, that is potato. The cold storage space is occupied by that crop, and actually there is a deficiency of this one, the cold storage units in India. I could not get your question actually.
See, Dr. Patil, Dr. Devedi knows me well, so we work on solar side. So we were parallelly also, focusing, try to find a potential market if we can, focus on cooling as a service, utilizing solar energy or some other renewable part of energy. So that was my motive to ask the question.
Okay, cooling as a service, but actually, I mean, whom you are targeting?
So apart from potato, we think that there might be some requirement for other crops as well, or could like for vegetables also, because most of the farmers also.
Actually, for all the fruits and vegetables, as you know, they are all perishable commodities. Okay, so nearly 40% is getting wasted here.
Yes.
So there is a huge scope is there, but like, how to scale this one, because in India, 85% of the farmers, they are small and marginal.
Right.
So remaining 5 to 10%, they are medium, and hardly less than 1 or 2%, they are large scale farmers. So whom you are actually targeting in what base, like, and nowadays, as I was saying you, a group of farmers, they are coming together. Actually, like, in South, they are more famous, that is farmer producer organizations. If you just one example I would like to give here, that is in Karnataka, there is a district called as Kolar. Okay, so that is the largest producer of tomatoes. Okay. So it also, the farmers, they also export there. And but like, frequently, like, you have seen that price fluctuations will be there. Sometimes it will go to 25, 30 rupees. Sometimes even for 25 paisa also no one will be there. Recently also, like, many farmers dump their produce on the roads. Okay, so you need to like, establish the links with those persons who like, who are actually in need of your service.
Okay.
Like, a group of farmers coming together.
Yeah, so that's what the idea behind this.
Now one firm is there called as Ninja Cart. Okay, so it is providing solutions like, usually for the retailers. For the retailers, the fruits and vegetable retailers, they have to go wake up early in the morning, and they should go at 4 o'clock to the market. Okay, for procuring the commodities. Ninja Cart, what it does is, like, the retailers, they place their orders today, and tomorrow morning by 6 o'clock they will deliver the commodities to the retailer shop. Okay, so now Ninja Cart is starting the investing upon backward also. Okay, so these kind of people, like, could be potential customer for you, I guess. So because they need the storage facility. I mean, the storage facility they have, but like, they need the refrigeration kind of facility for storing for a longer duration of time.
Right. Thank you.
Sir, I would want to chip in on this point, like from the perspective of soilless farming industry. If you want to, if you can just offer a mobile service, like I'll tell you something. What we used to do was we had a reefer van. So the difference between, in the farm to fork model, wherein we are producing at our farm and we're delivering to the, the end consumer, leafy vegetables specifically, they lose their moisture. So let's say I weighed 8 kgs at my own farm. By the time, it goes out, we'll see 6.5 to 7 kgs is what we are, left with. So a reefer van, as a cold storage solution, a mobile solution to the service to the end customer for a farm to fork model is a very good case scenario where you can apply your, services to.
Okay, Dhruv. And thank you very much for the input, Dhruv, as well.
Okay, Sunit Arya, for asking the question. Thank you so much, and thank you so much, the panelists. Now, I would request to our Professor H.K. Dwivedi, sir. H.K. Dwivedi, sir, am I audible to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, our workshop or webinar is incomplete without your compliment and concluding remark. So this MIIF was initiated by and started by Professor H.K. Dwivedi sir in 2019, and within this 2 year we have reached around 30 incubatees. 40 is the limit by the government to us, so we are limited this limit, and we are allowed only those potential startup who really have some potential in their business plan. So I would request Professor Dwivedi for their valuable concluding remarks for the whole session.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Vijay. Yeah, it was a wonderful discussion. And in the beginning, I thought that I'm not an expert on agriculture and how I would enjoy. But later on, when I found that whatever is the subject area, whatever is the profession, if you understand the process, then you can enjoy the discussion and also you can participate. So this was something like Mr. Dhruv Gupta mentioned about all the domains, or students from any branch of knowledge can contribute in these areas. And I would put it like this, that Dr. Dhruv Gupta's Paathshala is an example for people in our incubator or students to learn from this exercise and start something in UP also, especially in our zone. And Dr. Patil's expertise was on experiential learning, because why I put it this like this is that he belongs to an area where farmers have taken a lead actually. And that is why, that means the market and the user and the producer, they all have something in common and they gel very easily among themselves. That is least existing in this part of the country. And when he was answering to the questions from Dipendraji, and Dipendraji is a entrepreneur in IT and waste management area, but he has interest in agriculture also. So he was asking, did you identify the user? And in any startup, your first query should be not the product, the user. And I just remember the words from our ex-president, Dr. Abdul Kalam. He used to tell the young people that don't love your company, love your work. And if I extend it to this area, I would say don't love the product so much, love the process of doing it. Because if you love the process, you can change over from wheat to something else also. And of course, you first need to understand the market. So innovation is possible not only in the area of product, but also in marketing or processes, how to utilize your resources. So all this was discussed very in great detail. And my suggestion to MIIF is that let all the questions be noted here, and you will request Dr. Patil and Dhruv Gupta ji to be in your panel, so that time to time you can, not only in this seminar, keep interacting, and some answers will always come and benefit our people here. So this way long-term relationship will also be maintained, and the UP area will also grow in terms of cooperative movement. Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Patil and Mr. Gupta, for such a nice discussion.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, I think Dr. Vijay. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, Divedi sir, for your such a valuable compliment also and comment also, and we will keep in mind when we will plan for the next our event, and definitely it will be a long-term relationship with Dr. Patil, as he and me is associated for more than 5 to 6 years, and Mr. Dhruv Gupta is associated not directly to me, but directly associated with the MIIF, with the Neha Srivastava ma'am. And I hope that this webinar was very useful for the participants. Although we have a variety of participants from science, management, commerce, and various other streams, some were from the humanities also. So thank you. At the last, I would like to say thank you to all, especially the management of the university, Maharishi University, Professor Bhanu Pratap Singh, Registrar Akhand Pratap Singh, Dean Academic Sapan Asthana sir, MIIF in charge Neha Srivastava ma'am, MIIF manager Mr. Puneet Pandey sir, and always supporting for us Professor HK Dwivedi sir, who is always supporting. Whenever we need, we can call to him, और रात में 10 बजे भी 11 बजे भी मेरी उनसे बात होती है. एंड एट दिस स्टेज ऑफ लाइफ, आई मीन उनकी एज काफ़ी, ही इज़ वन ऑफ द मोस्ट सीनियर faculty member at Maharishi University, but always he is ready to support their own faculty members. So thank you to all of you. Thank you to all participants. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.